Hey, good morning, family. We are up on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. You can join the audio podcast, the live stream, by simply going to my website, nathanivey.com. There are all the links there. You can listen live on TuneIn and on the Spreaker Network. Good morning to you, family. How would you describe the debate performances last night? Did you notice that black voter issues were ignored? They asked a question about white supremacy, but that doesn't really get to the bottom of the multiple issues that affect our community. Am I wrong to expect more questions and more of a focus on our community? I don't think so. I want to share you my thoughts. Again, in one word, how will you describe the debate performances from last night? I'm talking about the moderator, I'm talking about the incumbent, and I'm talking about Joe Biden. You might be surprised at what some of the pollsters and people that were, trying to calculate the attitudes of potential voters, in particular, undecided voters. You might be surprised. Keep listening. I'll fill in all the blanks. This is the Nathan Ivey Show, Cincinnati's first daily digital show that focuses on the black community. Hey, listen, family, please take a minute to like and share today's show. Please take a second to like and in particular share today's show. Your shares, your likes mean everything. We'll get started in 90 seconds.
Listening to the Nathan Ivey Show. One man, one microphone, one mission. Now let's get back to the flow.
All right, we're live, we're local. I'm very, very vocal. Welcome back. It's the Nathan Ivey Show. One man, one microphone, one mission. And if you don't know, my mission is to amplify Black voices in the greater Cincinnati area and beyond. Good morning to you. Of course, today's show is powered by Sin Digital Media, a new urban voice in the city of Cincinnati. Good morning. Nathan Ivey, as I said, your humble host. And I want to talk about everything that has happened that's relevant between yesterday's show and today's show. Also got a special guest coming in at about 9 a.m. This morning to talk about an upcoming show on Sin Digital Media. Looking forward to it. Good morning to you. Good morning to you, Choppers. How was the last 24 hours? Hopefully you're doing well. Hey, do me a favor and take a second to like, and in particular, like and share today's show. Welcome to my home. Nathan Ivey with you. Good morning. Let's get into it. I was up. Well, I guess it really wasn't late for me. I'm a night owl. But if you don't know, last night I did a watch party off of the Nathan Ivey Show page. And we got about 2,000 people to be a part of it. It was a good time. Got a chance to watch it with the Choppers and some good folks last night. And I may do that more. Throughout the presidential cycle. I think it's very important. But I'm really interested in your opinion. And I want to make it easy for you. If you watched the debate last night, or maybe you watched the clips this morning, what's your impression? What was your impression of the first debate? The big debate between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. What was your impression? Who do you think won? Is that even appropriate to put it that way? I might make a wardrobe change just to let you know. Is it appropriate to even put it that way? I don't know. You tell me. Here's what I like you to do. I like you to, in one word, describe the debate performances from last night. I want you, in one word, to describe the performance of Chris Matthews. Is that his name, Chris Matthews? I believe so. If I'm wrong about that, set me straight. The moderator, we'll put it that way. It was rough, especially the beginning. I want you, in one word, to describe the performance of the president, Donald Trump, and also, in one word, to describe the performance of the challenger. That would be Vice President Joe Biden. I'm very interested in your opinion. Also, I want to share some of the information that's being put out there in terms of the pollsters. There's one in particular that was trying to get a snapshot of how undecided voters, feel about last night's debate, because that's really what it comes down to. I feel the same way this morning as I did last night in terms of my commentary. I feel as if, I got a little message later on the day. I feel as if people walked out of that debate the same way they walked into it. So if you walked into it feeling as if, you were a Trump supporter, you're still a Trump supporter. If you walked into it as a Joe Biden supporter, you're probably still a Joe Biden supporter. And if you walked into it as an undecided voter, in my opinion, you probably walked out of it an undecided voter. And some of the information I read seems to back that up. I'll share it with you this morning. Also, as a black man, as a black voter, I was in particular interested in, the questions that impact my community, my family, my business, my world in particular. How about you? And I was really dissatisfied with the length and the type of questions as related to the black voter issues and black people's experience here in the country. I want to say this again, folks. Black people's issues in this country is far deeper than just police brutality. That's just one issue. It seems like every election cycle, the candidates, the moderators focus on whatever the latest outrage is. 4 years ago, it was Ferguson. 4 years ago, it was whatever the latest outrage is. Today, they want to talk about Breonna Taylor and George Floyd. And while those issues are really important, if you're going to talk about them, we should drill down. They should drill down to talk about the specifics of it. Like, I was disappointed that there was no real conversation about qualified immunity. They did ask a question about how do you feel about defund the police? But without clarification, I just felt as if it became, more of a political question and more of a question about policy. Both candidates saying, I support the police. That's because of the type of question and the way it was posed. What about the specifics? What about no-knock warrants? All over the country, cities like Cincinnati are having debates about no-knock warrants. Drill down the specifics. That way, we, the voters, we, the viewers, can really get something out of it. There was no question about qualified immunity, even though that's at the tip of the tongue of a lot of folks right now in terms of their feelings about why we continue to see the kind of attitudes and behaviors from police officers. It's not enough to just ask about defund the police. Drill it down. Drill down and ask the specifics as it relates to policy. And then we can ascertain and discern as to, who feels what on what issue and how closely their opinion identifies with our own. I was disappointed. There was no question about black economics. The word black entrepreneurs did not come up. There was no questions about specifics in terms of recovery plans for black businesses. Too many of them are not going to recover from COVID. There were no specifics about how COVID-19 is affecting our communities. Everybody knows that black communities, black and brown communities were especially hit hard. And that means that we should especially spend some time talking about it. You know what I'm saying? There was no conversation about low wages. They talked about, health care, but again, it was a big, broad conversation. And I understand you had 90 minutes, and maybe there's only so much you can do, but I suspect they could have drilled down a bit more and kind of nailed down some of the specifics as it relates to us. Black people, don't be satisfied with questions about the Proud Boys. I ain't satisfied about that. Although that particular question did yield a very interesting exchange. And what we found out is that Trump loves white supremacists. Trump loves white supremacists. He won't say anything negative about them. He talking about, they asked him to disavow and put it on record. And he ended up saying, stand by. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to Black Lives Matter and Antifa, he won super hard. As far as I can see, that's who's causing all of the damage. What? Negro, please. Please like and share today's show, family. Good morning to you. Many things to discuss this morning. 513-873-7134. In one word, how would you describe last night's debate? I want to get your thoughts. In one word, how would you describe last night's debate performances? I thought that Chris Matthews was, at least at the beginning, was super weak. He was out there doing his Mike DeWine, governor of the Ohio impression. No spine, feckless, no backbone, letting Trump just talk all and run all over him. Hell no, you think I'm going to go on national TV? I don't give a who it is. President, it could be Black Jesus. It ain't going down like that, period. And, I think it kind of set the tone for the rest of the event where Trump just started to just go right over the lines, write over the rules whenever he felt like it. And then, of course, if you're the challenger, if you're Joe Biden, you just can't stand there. I'll give you some thoughts, some insights as to what some people have said about it, and in particular, independent voters, people who are undecided, allegedly at this particular time. I believe there are undecided voters out there. I think there's a lot of people that didn't vote for Hillary. I think there's black people who are dissatisfied with Trump and Joe Biden. And I think that there's white people who voted for Trump, and then they saw what Trump did, and they're like, wait a minute, do I really want to do this again? I mean, I think that's real. Were they swayed by either of the candidates? Well, I'll tell you what's being said. Okay, I'll share that with you this morning. I thought that Chris Matthews lost control, and it was unfortunate. I thought that Trump was being Trump. He was a bull in a china shop. You know what I'm saying? He does what he wants to do when he wants to. You know what I'm saying? He don't care about the 2-minute rule. He don't care whose turn it is. That's his style. You know what I'm saying? You could tell he wasn't prepared because he said, I don't have to prepare for Joe. I thought that Joe Biden, came across as more professional, for lack of a better term, if that means something to you. And I think it does to some people. I thought that also Joe Biden missed a lot of opportunities. I thought, again, Chris Wallace and Joe Biden missed a lot of opportunities to make Trump clarify some of his statements. And, you can't get that time back if you're in the Biden campaign. I think there was some like softballs that Biden could have hit straight out the park with a simple retort. And either it wasn't top of mind or he just didn't think about it. And the moment was lost. I think that there was times during the debate in which it seems like Trump had Biden on the defensive. I can think of only maybe once or twice, maybe just once, in which I felt as if Trump was on the defensive. I wish that there was a better moderator. I do. I wish that there was more questions specifically about Black and brown communities, disadvantaged communities, particular, and then the candidates were forced to drill down and actually answer the questions. That happened over and over again, where I felt like Trump didn't answer the question, and because of time, the moderator just let it go on to the next thing. Listen, which I understand. I've moderated a few times here or there, so I understand. I get it. But you do have some control, and you should exercise it for the benefit of the audience, right? We're watching because we want to figure out who these men are. But that's just some of my general off the dome, impressions of last night. I want to reiterate again. Black voters have more issues than just police brutality. I want to say it again. Oh, Chris Wallace. Sorry. Chris Wallace. Thank you. Not Matthews. Thank you, Pat. I said Chris Matthews, Chris Wallace. She's so right. So I thought that Chris Wallace just initially, he was out there doing his Ohio governor, Mike DeWine impression. No spine, feckless, no backbone whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? Just going with the flow. I got sick of hearing, Chris Wallace trying to beg Trump to be nice. I got sick of that real early. But going back to what I said about black voters, I want to say this again. Black voter issues are far deeper. That's just one issue. Black community police relations. That's just one issue. I was disappointed there was no real conversation about, black wealth building. I guess I'm asking for too much. There was the word black entrepreneurs, black businesses didn't come up at all. That's just as important than what's happening with police brutality. It's just as important. All of these issues are important. There was no questions about affordable housing. There was no question about, raising wages. The list goes on and on. There was no question about the future of the internet, net neutrality, which I think should be a central issue. Every single person who is watching me right now is watching and listening via the internet. We need to protect it and have public conversations from people that are going to represent us about what their future policies are going to be on that issue. It's super important. But those are just some of my general impressions. What are yours? 513-873-7134. Now, in the city of Cincinnati, there was a big conversation yesterday about the Cincinnati Collaborative with a lot of stakeholders and some recommendations that were put in place. I want to share some thoughts on that this morning as well. Again, if you want to share your thoughts, 513-873-7134. Real simple. It's a free call anywhere in the country and in some parts of the world. All right. If you're in some part of the world and for whatever reason you can't get through, then send me a direct message and I'll work on it on my end. Real simple. Good morning to the Choppers. Viva la Choppers. How are you? Hope you're doing well. I do have audio for you and video of last night. And I think it's important. I think there's some people out there that didn't get a chance to watch it. I've got some highlights here for you, that little highlight package that some folks put together that I think we can show for you that'll give you, it'll give you some insights. I mean, you got to watch some of the debate in its entirety to really get the gist of everything that happened, but it'll give you some insights, including when Trump was yabba dabba doing on white supremacy. I don't know why it's so hard to say white supremacy is bad. These mofos are terrorists. How is that hard? But if you missed any of it, let me play a clip for you.
Was in Iraq. He spent a year there. He got the Bronze Star. He got the Conspicuous Service Medal. He was not a loser. He was a patriot, and the people left behind there were heroes.
Really?
And I resent.
Are you talking about Hunter? Are you talking about Hunter?
I'm talking about my son, Beau Biden. You're talking about.
I don't know Beau. I know Hunter.
Yeah,
Hunter got thrown out of the military. He was thrown out, dishonorably discharged.
That's not true. It wasn't dishonorably.
Cocaine use. And he didn't have a job until you became vice president. And once you became vice president, he made a fortune in Ukraine, in China, in Moscow,
that is simply
and various
not
other places.
True.
He made a fortune.
My son.
And he didn't have a job.
My son, like a lot of people we know at home, had a drug problem. He's overtaken it. He's fixed it. He's worked on it, and I'm proud of him.
But why was he given tens of millions?
All right, but he wasn't given tens of millions. That is totally discredited.
We've already been
totally discredited.
That's why should Americans trust you over your opponent to deal with racism?
He did a crime bill, 1994. Where you call them super predators, African Americans, super predators, and they've never forgotten it. They've never forgotten it, Joe.
No, sir, it's his 2 minutes.
So you did that, and they call you super predator, and I'm letting people out of jail now that you have treated the African American population community, you have treated the black community about as bad as anybody in this country. You did the 1990, and that's why, if you look at the polls, I'm doing better than any Republican has done in a long time, because they saw what you did. You call them super predators, and you've called them worse than that, because you look back at your testimony over the years, you've called them a lot worse than that. As far as the church is concerned, and as far as the generals are concerned, we just got the support of 250 military leaders and generals, total support. Law enforcement, almost every law enforcement group in the United States. I have Florida, I have Texas, I have Ohio, I have Portland. The sheriff just came out today and he said, I support President Trump. I don't think you have any law enforcement. You can't even say the word law enforcement, because if you say those words, you're going to lose all of your radical left supporters. And why aren't you saying those words, Joe? Why don't you say the words law enforcement? Because you know what? If they called us in Portland, we would put out that fire in a half an hour, but they won't do it because they're run by radical left Democrats. If you look at Chicago, if you look at any place you want to look, Seattle, they heard we were coming in the following day and they put up their hands and we got back Seattle. Minneapolis, we got it back, Joe, because we believe in law and order, but you don't.
That he knew this was happening, knew how dangerous it was going to be back in February, and he didn't even tell you. He's on record as saying it. He panicked, or he just looked at the stock market. One of the two, because guess what? A lot of people died, and a lot more are going to die unless he gets a lot smarter, a lot quicker.
Mr. President?
Did you use the word smart? So you said you went to Delaware State, but you forgot the name of your college. You didn't go to Delaware State. You graduated either the lowest or almost the lowest in your class. Don't ever use the word smart with me. Don't ever use that word.
Oh, give me a break.
Because you know what? There's nothing smart about you, Joe. 47 years you've done nothing.
Let's have this debate. You're a senator. I'm not going to answer the question.
Why would you answer that
because
question?
The question is, the question is,
Justice, radical left.
Will you shut up?
Man, I think
this is so unprecedented.
We have
We
have ended this segment. We're going to move on to the second segment.
That was really a productive segment, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a really productive segment, wasn't it? I mean, just right there were several opportunities for Joe to interject with some truth that would have put Trump back on his heels. So, for instance, if I'm debating Trump can't say nothing about the military without me bringing up the fact that he was on permanent deferments during the Vietnam era for bone spurs. I don't know why Joe didn't bring that up. How dare you question somebody else's military service when you were too much of a coward to even go to the military? That's what I would have said. That's what I would have said off top. And there were a couple of opportunities within that clip right there that I thought where Joe could have responded with something that was based on facts. And for whatever reason, he just didn't do it. For whatever reason, he just didn't do it. It's a missed opportunity that would have helped to reframe the conversation. Just didn't do it. Trump's like, oh, we got 237 military. Well, Joe just had 337 current military members come out in support of him, and he's not even a commander-in-chief. He should have brought that up, in my opinion. There was some others that I felt like there was an opportunity for Joe to interject or to offer as rebuttal or retort or to put it out there, and he just didn't for whatever reason that are based in facts that would have reframed and clarified whose position is what. But that's just me. Let's go to the phones. Let's do that. 513-873-7134. Because as I said, I know how I feel about it. I'm curious as to how you feel about it. And we got Drop on the line right now. Hey, good morning, Drop. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Ivey. This is the music that Donald Trump's campaign should have played last night when he walked out on stage. I am a nightmare walking, psychopath talking, king of the jungle, just a gangster stalking. Lit like firecracker, quick as my fuse, red or green cause of blood, it just don't matter. Mr. Ivey, boy, I got one word to describe that debate last night. Domination. How are you, sir?
Domination, huh? That's how you would describe it?
Mr. Ivey, when I had to get up early this morning, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I caught your show about 10 minutes ago, and the comments were already piling up. So when you played that clip from last night, I'm like, this is my cue. I'm calling in. So all the beautiful people in the chop shop, all the lady choppers, hey, Tracy, hey, A-Ray, I want y'all to start y'all Mr. Ivey countdown, because how many have I had already so far? I think I only got one. So here, let's start the clock. Mr. Ivey, the clips you played, the highlights that you played. Mr. Ivey, I agree with you 100%. Trump was ready. Everybody knows who Trump is. So don't let's say, oh, I can't believe what he said. Oh. No. We all know who Trump is. The question that everybody wanted answered last night was, who is Joe Biden? What is Joe Biden? We haven't seen him anywhere. All we've seen him in Zoom conferences. So Joe Biden is center stage. And I'm telling you, Mr. Ivey, from the highlights that you played, Joe Biden, he looked scared. I thought Trump was going to walk across the stage and snatch his mic. Because, Mr. Ivey, Trump gave Biden opportunities to shut down all the stuff that's been out there about Ukraine, about the Russia investigation, all this stuff about everything. But every chance, either Chris Wallace helped Joe Biden by getting him out of a corner that he had backed into, or Joe Biden just didn't take the opportunity, and he said Trump was lying about stuff that everybody knows is true. Because, Mr. Ivey, what did they impeach Donald Trump for? Ukraine, for meddling to get dirt on his opponent, which was standing next to him on the stage. It all came out, Mr. Ivey. Hunter Biden took the money. Hunter Biden was a crackhead that got dishonorably discharged from the military. But Joe Biden wants to bring up Bo. That's the other brother. It had nothing to do with none of this. He was the honorable brother, Bo, not Hunter. But anyway, Mr. Ivey, I just want to say that last night it was a tie, in my opinion. The debate was a tie, but it was clear that Trump was Trump. He dominated, and Joe Biden was reading from a script. And he just looked older than Donald Trump. Now, again, everybody who was for Joe Biden before last night, are still for Joe Biden. But what Donald Trump did by solidifying his base, and this is a base election with almost a little more than 30 days to go. This is what you do. You motivate your base. There is no such thing in 2020 as an independent, undecided. No, they are so insignificant. All this is about your turnout. And Joe Biden did not close the enthusiasm gap last night. He just did not do it. But again, there are two more debates. The next debate is on October 15th. It will be a town hall format. But guess what, Mr. Ivey? This morning, all across social media, all across the media, all the pundits and the lamestream media are talking about is canceling the next two debates, which means that last night, Donald Trump dominated. So you got any questions, Mr. Ivey, so I can hang up and let everybody else
I do have a
question.
question. My question is you said that you were in the military, correct?
Yes, I was in the United States Marine Corps from 1980 to 1987.
Well, then you should know better because Donald Trump told a lie last night when he was talking about Hunter. Hunter, as I understand it, was not dishonorably discharged. You should know that there's a difference between being discharged from the military and dishonorably discharged. They're two different things. There's also a third category, which is called less than honorable discharge. You have honorable discharge, dishonorable discharge, and then a less than honorable discharge. True, but the fact remains that Hunter Biden was not dishonorably discharged.
Mr. Ivey, the only thing that matters is he did not get an honorable discharge.
Well,
he did not.
Let's make sure
an honorable discharge.
Like I said, I'm surprised at you. I'm disappointed in you because I'm disappointed because you were in the military. You should know this better than me. I wasn't in the military. How do I know this and you don't even know this? Last night, when the president said that Hunter Biden was dishonorably discharged because words matter in the grown-up land, in grown-up land, words matter, that was in fact not true. He was not dishonorably discharged. To me, but it's irrelevant. The dude had a drug problem. He was arrested multiple times for crack cocaine, Mr. So
Ivey.
now the truth is irrelevant?
Crack cocaine vials in rental cars.
So now you want to talk about crack cocaine vials because we just found out that Donald Trump told a lie last night and you know better. And instead of you calling in and checking him like, you know what, the president was wrong on that, you want to try to make it seem like what he said was true.
No, listen, Mr. Ivey. What's the quote that Maya Angelou is famous for about, I think it's when someone tells you who they are, believe them? Is that how that quote goes?
Right. Something like that.
Okay, so major newspapers have been chronicling every single lie Donald Trump has said. I think it's over 15,000, something like that. I lost count. So
that's a shame.
He's already been labeled a liar, right? So to
he hasn't been labeled a liar. He has proven himself to be a liar. Two different things.
Donald Trump.
Two different things. He hasn't been labeled a liar.
Can a liar?
He's proven himself to be a liar.
Mr. Ivey, can a liar ever tell the truth?
I'm sure every once in a while he does tell the truth. Just like a broken clock is right twice a day. Yeah.
So, Mr. Ivey, when a liar says that your son was a crackhead and was discharged from the military, is there truth anywhere in there, or you only see the lie?
That's not what I'm holding you accountable to. What I'm holding you accountable to is the fact that the president last night, because that's where the lie is. Because that's where the lie is. We all know that Hunter had a cocaine issue. His father admitted it last night. That's not where the issue is. The issue is, as I said before, and you should know better, as a member of the military, you should know better. There's a big difference. There's a big difference between being dishonorably discharged from the military and being discharged from the military. It's not the same thing. And you should know that. Donald Trump lied last night. Or maybe he just misremembered. I don't know. But it wasn't factually true.
That's fine, but
Okay.
that it amazes me
And
that
see
would be
what
your
I'm
first
saying.
question.
Joe should have said last night. He should have said this.
But it amazes me that would be your first question.
Why? You're a member of the
About
military.
Hunter Biden, the crackhead.
That why would that amaze you? Number one, that was brought up in the clip that I just played, and you were in the military, and then you reiterated the lie in your opening commentary. So why wouldn't I challenge you and hold you to accountable to it?
Okay. Well, first of all, Mr. Ivey, I never really analyzed that part of it. All I know is Hunter Biden was in the military. He had drug problems. He was discharged from the military, and he got a job as a energy consultant in Ukraine, making millions of dollars because his father was the vice president. That's all, and that's all facts. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So for you as a host, and you know what I stand and where I stand when it comes to politics, why would you ask that question in reference to
I just told you why I asked the question.
When you had,
I got another question,
when
though.
Trump said, yes, sir.
I have another question. Do you know who Frank Luntz is?
Yes, sir.
LUNTZ. Are
the
you
number
aware?
one Uno focus group guy.
Yes, he's the focus group guy. Are you aware that he did a focus group last night with undecided voters?
Yes, sir.
Are you aware
Yes,
of
sir.
what he is reporting today that the undecided voters said about Donald Trump?
Yes, I heard it.
Okay.
I heard it this morning. They ran it on they ran it on C-SPAN this morning.
Right. So for folks who didn't know this, Frank Luntz, man, he's well known in certain circles. One of them is he does these focus groups. Primarily, I mean, he came to my attention by doing focus groups with Republican voters. But last night, he did a focus group with undecided voters from swing states to get their opinion about, what happened. And he asked them to describe Trump in one word or phrase. Here's what the responses were: horrid, chaotic, unpolished, crackhead, puzzling, un-American, unhinged, an ass, classic Trump, bully, arrogant, typical. And that's what the undecided voters said about Donald Trump. About Biden, they said, or has been reported that they said, competent, politician, nice guy but lacking vision, coherent leader, attentive, somewhat evasive, humanity and integrity, and presidential.
And crackhead. The crackhead was meant for him, not Trump.
I'm just telling you what they said. They said it about Trump in terms of his, which I thought it was ironic because you're trying to say that about Hunter Biden.
No, it's not.
It is ironic.
No, it's not, Mr. Ivey.
It is ironic because Trump said that about Hunter Biden, but then objective observers said that about him. That's ironic.
Yeah, but first of all, we all know that the undecided voters were either Republican voters who didn't like Trump or who liked him and now discussed it with him, or Democrats who voted for Trump because they hated Clinton. And that, Mr. Ivey, there's no such thing as undecided.
Actually, there is.
Are you serious? As hard as the media and the Democrats, including an impeachment, including multiple investigations by a special prosecutor, that nobody knows who Trump is. The question I keep telling you is about turnout, and will Joe Biden be able to convince the Democrats that 5 to 8% that stayed at home in 2016, can he get them back? But guess what, Mr. Ivey? He has a black problem. He has a problem with young black voters. And that performance last night, because of all his pundits and his team leaders are saying, we don't want any more debate. If he did such a great job exposing Trump, then why wouldn't they want more debates? Why would they want less? So again, Mr. Ivey, last night, again, my one word is domination, and there'll be another debate. It'll be a different format.
Right.
So we'll see what happens.
Okay.
But
listen, brother, thank you for the call.
But again, Mr. Ivey, I want to hear what everybody else has to say.
Me too.
Thank you for giving me the time. And if you want, I'll stop giving you a plug every time I say your name. Because I know you don't want me to stop, Mr. Ivy. Drop Squad 52, dropping fire to anyone who wants to catch it. The first gangster president. I am a nightmare walking. All right, I'm hanging up. All right, y'all.
Thanks for the call. That's drop right there. I don't really have an opinion either way. I mean, do whatever feels natural. Do you, brother. Do you. Good morning to you. In one word, how would you describe the debate performances? I'm talking about the moderator and both of the candidates, president and vice president. I want to get your thoughts. Brian Smith writes, he told them Proud Boys to stand back and stand by. Good morning, Nate, and to all the beautiful people. Yeah, he said stand by. Freudian slip. He couldn't help but be who he is. Thanks, Nate, for the broadcast and debate. I was at work and enjoyed it. Yeah, I mean, it was on Facebook. We just did a watch party, off the Nathan Ivey Show Facebook page, just to connect with some people and give some commentary in real time and give you my thoughts. I had a good time. I may do more of it, actually. I had a good time with it. Got about 2,000 people that got a chance to watch it. Crystal writes, embarrassing. That's her one word, embarrassing. Cleopatra writes, I was not impressed by Trump or Biden. Shaking my head. Yeah, I wasn't impressed either. Neither one of them. For different reasons. I stand by what I said. I mean, in my opinion, despite the history of what happened with the 90s crime bill, today, right now, I think that Joe Biden would be a better leader for this country. Trump has shown us that he's completely narcissistic and caught up with himself. And whether you agree or disagree with his policies, which I disagree with a lot of them, his tactics, the energy that he brings to the country, and his focus is himself. We deserve somebody whose focus is going to be on us and our issues. That's what I think. That's just me. We deserve someone who's not going to be completely caught up with the daily back and forth with the media, creating division and enemies where they suit him, being soft on white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? Everything else being equal, we deserve someone who at the very least will spend more time on us. Michael writes, Chris Wallace, thank you for the correction. Appreciate it. Don writes, enlightenment. Okay, you were enlightened last night. All right, that's good. Angela writes, good morning, fam. Chris Roadkill Wallace, dude got straight ran over. He did. At least he got some backbone earlier, later. But earlier he was doing his Governor Mike DeWine impression. White man with no spine. You know what I'm saying? We got a governor that does that. And it was not pleasant at all. But again, that's a difficult situation. You know what I'm saying? That's a difficult situation when you're dealing with what people call the most powerful man in the free world and the vice president. And then you don't have the ability to cut mics and things like that. Like if you had the ability to cut mics, then you have some measure of control. When the adults start acting like children, you can send them to their corner, so to speak. Chris Wallace didn't have that as a tactic. But there are some tactics you can use in a situation like that. I was surprised not to see it earlier. Chris, shaky. Donald, dopey. Joe, steady. That's Anthony, all one words. Appreciate that. Ebony writes, Chris Wallace, weak. Trump, juvenile. Biden, frustrated. Okay, appreciate it. Dale writes, Chris Wallace, unprepared. Biden held his own. Trump, lawless. We got Mason Mahler on the line. Let's take the phone call, shall we? Hey, good morning, Mason Mahler. Welcome to the show.
Wah, wah, wah. Wah, wah, wah. What's going on, Nate?
I'm doing great. Welcome.
Man, you know what I got right. I got that first day of school feeling, Nate. I get excited about this stuff, man.
I know you do.
Oh, man, I'm loving it. I didn't get much sleep. I still made it to the gym this morning, so I'm staying committed.
Oh, love to hear it. Love hearing it.
But the last comment you read, somebody called it Donald Trump a disaster and Joe Biden the adult. That's exactly what we got last night. And I'm glad that, and I will say this, I'm glad that you held Drop's feet to the fire when it came to the military. Nate, I'm also former military, and everything that you said was true.
Right.
And for Donald Trump to get up there again, this is a man that will flat out lie to your face, Nate, and really don't care. Because you know what, Nate? He knows that he got the drops of the world out there that will buy freaking anything. Like I said, Nate, he talks about how, they're going to ruin the suburbs. I told you, man, I'm got my flag. I'm ready to run up and down Fields Erdel and Mason Montgomery Road yelling, the low-income people are coming. The low-income people are coming. Because apparently that's what's supposed to happen. And I can tell you, between my neighbors, friends, my son's friends and their parents, they don't believe that crap. They're repulsed by this guy. And what you saw yesterday was a bloated, sweaty-ass, brown tan having. He looked like a 1970s black kid who mama put Vaseline all over him before they took their Olin Mills school picture. Did you see him last night?
I did. He retouched the tan. You could tell.
You can tell. Either that, Nate, or what does like really red white people under a brown orange tan look like? I thought the man was going to turn into fuchsia. Last night, Nate, the biggest losers in the debate last night were the American people. We've talked about it all the time, Nate, the norms that we used to. And again, we got many complaints about this country, but there were certain things that used to be what considered universal norms between everybody. You know, black, white, Hispanic, LGBTQ, ABC, the whole shebang. Everybody had like a certain norm that we thought we used to follow. Now, you've been following politics for a long time now. When's the last time you've seen even close to that type of disruption during a debate? And we've seen a lot of them in our short years here on Earth.
Probably 2016, the debates with Hillary came close to it with Donald Trump. Previous to that,
and that was a disaster.
Yeah, previous to that, I can't recall.
Stood up and walked around like looking like a stalker, like he about to go for his.
Yeah, previous to that, I'd say the Republican primary back in 2016. I mean, we saw Donald Trump last night. It was the same Donald Trump but displayed back during the Republican primary. So that's probably what I can remember. Anything coming close to it.
And they still chose him, Nate, despite that.
Yeah, they loved it. They loved it.
they still chose him despite that.
Yeah, because he emasculated the other Republican candidates on live TV, so they loved it.
Well, he called he called Marco Rubio Little Marco. He accused Ted Cruz's father of assassinating JFK. He called Carly Fiorina what he called her ugly.
Right.
And again, this is the party that's supposed to be about family values, Nate.
Oh yeah, of course they are.
Figure it out, man. And you got to watch this clip, Nate, that Joe Scarborough had on his show, and he's played at least 4 or 5 times because everybody's criticizing Chris Wallace. But Donald Trump called in the Morning Joe, and I think it was 2016 or right before that. I didn't see the date; they just keep playing the clip. But Donald Trump called in, and he tried to overtalk Joe Scarborough and Mika, and Joe Scarborough was like, Donald, you got to let us get these questions out, man. You can't overtalk. He said, if you continue to do that, I'm going to go to break. Well, Donald Trump tried to pull what he pulled on Chris Wallace yesterday. Guess what Joe did? He went to break. Completely cut him off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a tool that Joe had because he's on his own show. As a moderator, he wouldn't be able to have that. He wouldn't have that tool in his arsenal. So that's the only difference.
Let me put this all to rest, too. Last night, Simone Sanders, she was on all the shows, of course.
Yeah.
And they asked her the question. They said, was this display last night what Nancy Pelosi was talking about? Because remember when people tried to play Nancy Pelosi really don't want Joe Biden to debate? It wasn't because she thought that Joe Biden would be a wreck in front of Donald Trump. It's because of what we saw last night. Now, Simone Sanders said last night, there's going to be the other debate. So they're not running anywhere. And actually, I think that's what they should do because the wreck we saw last night, the people that you saw in Frank Lutz's his focus group, we need more of that. You had white people calling Donald Trump a crackhead. I saw the comments that you were talking about. They weren't talking about Beau Biden or Hunter Biden, excuse me. They were talking about Donald Trump. They also had the same type of focus group on CNN. Did you see that?
I did not see it. What was the results on CNN?
Essentially the same thing you saw in Frank Lutz's group, Nate. Disheveled, disastrous, childlike. Joe Biden, they said the adult in the room, steady. That's all Joe Biden really had to do. Now, let me also say this, Nate, because we tend to do this after every primary and presidential debate. And I agree with you as far as our issues are concerned, in-depth our issues are concerned. But, Nate, we got 2 more, debates. Because we said this after the primaries, remember, during the Democrats. I don't know what it is, but I'll also say this, Nate. They put out the debate topics like over the weekend. I don't know if you saw that or not.
I didn't.
Yeah, they put out the debate topics over the weekend. So everything that you talked about yesterday, that was foreseen 3 days ago. So I just want to throw that out there. I don't know if people saw that or not. But again, I agree with you as far as the topics that pertain specifically to me. And I tell you something, Nate, that pertains specifically to me. Last night, did you see Donald Trump look directly in the camera and talk to the American people one single time?
I don't know.
Huh?
Maybe at the very end when he got 2 minutes to end, that's about it. But no, not throughout. But for the most of it, he was responding to Wallace and Biden.
Right. Well, let me give you something personal from my perspective, Nate. When Joe Biden looked at the camera and said, "You out there, what do you? When you look at that empty seat at your dining room table, what do you think? When you're a child and you can't go see your mom and dad or in the hospital, what do you think?" Nate, I was just in that situation a month ago. My father had a stroke, Nate. He was in the hospital for 2 freaking weeks, man, and I couldn't go see him, Nate. I couldn't go see him. That's because this stupid ass up in Washington is incompetent COVID virus plan. Those are the things that have dramatically affected me personally. Nate, that hit hard, man. And it's been one of the things that I've been mad about for a long time now, that I couldn't go see him. I'm that guy that's still worried about my 8th grader going to school. I'm that guy that's still worried about my 21-year-old going to UC. I'm that guy whose world was, turned upside down. Now I've been working from home for the last 7 months. And again, we can't get this economy together. We can't get the society together until we get the COVID crisis under control. It also put everything, economics. You're talking about black businesses. You're talking about, the PPE loans. We know that went to people like Jeff Ruby and, Emerald and the Steakhouse and all the other people that didn't need it. You know who needed black coffee? You know who needed the lady that moved from down there by FC Cincinnati, moved her place. Those are the people that actually need it, Nate. Wouldn't you agree?
100%.
Not the Jeff Rubies of the world.
100%.
I guarantee you, during the last 7 months of COVID, Jeff Ruby ain't worried about a damn thing, Nate. Am I lying or flying?
I think you're flying on that one.
So yeah, man. Like I said, Nate, the only thing I'm disappointed is that I missed your little debate show part.
Oh, that's right. You weren't. I didn't see you in there. Yeah, we did it live last night, right at 9.
And I'm gonna put them out on the chop shop. Tracy and Pamela D. Y'all didn't call me, so you on the list. But I'm not gonna sweat my sister though. I got love for you, but yeah, that's the only thing I'm disappointed about. But like I said, Nate, you know me, man. I'm watching anything and everything. And, I can end this call by saying, F Donald Trump on every single level there is. And if there's a level above that level, F him too on that one. Him and John Wayne.
Him and John. And Elvis. And Eminem.
Right. It's like, what was your boy? MK, what was it? MGK?
MGK, yeah.
Yeah, remember?
Oh, I
remember.
remember.
Sweet Luke, you can give him that. I actually watched that video again yesterday.
Oh, did
actually, that song was kind of bumpy, man. But Eminem was going to come back. So, but yeah, man, what we saw, we should have expected, Nate. And the whole nod and a wink to the Proud Boys. Have you ever had a president give a nod and a wink to a white supremacist group? And what the hell?
Not publicly.
Stand back and stand by for? What are they standing by for, Nate?
For future orders. That's why. We're going to need you. We might need you if I lose the election. That's why.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you. The guy that, who was it, Forte, the gun expert, the trainer, I want to, if he's listening, I want him to answer a question for me. Ohio is a concealed carry state. Can you take your concealed carry weapon to the polls with you?
I don't think you can take it into the, it depends. I don't think so. It depends on what the building is, but I don't believe so.
They AR-15s and their flag jackets, Nate, and they look like they might want to cause some trouble. Shouldn't I be able to defend myself, an American citizen who, is licensed to openly carry and conceal?
Well, I think conceal is different. If you got a license, you might be able to get that off. But maybe libraries, some of these government buildings where they hold the elections, I think they have rules against it. But again, I don't know. That's a good question for Forte. You're right.
But Nate, we had guys walking into the state capitol with AR-15s in Columbus, in Michigan.
True. Facts on facts. You're right.
You know, my polling place is right up here on Western Road. It's a church. It's not a government building.
Okay. So that might be different.
So, I mean, again, you know, if the threat is out there that he told the Proud Boys to stand back and stand by, then I think we need to stand up and stand by, too. And be ready.
Most deaf. Most deaf.
And, you know, Nate, I'm like, hell, I'm not too far from Butler County. You know, we got the crazies out here, too. Thankfully, we got enough of, like, normal people, I think. But, yeah, I mean, I've been thinking about this all like, night. Like, is it okay for you to, you know, be a concealed carrier and go into the voting booth? Because, Nate, I think some stuff is going to jump out. Did you see what happened down in Virginia? What was it, 2 weekends ago? When the Trump supporters were blocking the polling stations and trying to intimidate people?
Yeah. I do remember that. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, they love some Trump. They don't want the circus to end. They don't want the circus to end. They love the Trump show.
I mean, Nate, he's telling white supremacists and other, you know, local yokels to go to polling places to watch other people vote. I mean, put that in your noodle and let it rattle around. What the hell does that mean?
It means it's going to be an issue on election day. He's trying to intimidate people. That's what it is. He's trying to intimidate people like, oh, man, I don't want to show up because the Proud Boys or some Trump supporters might be there and get violent. He knows what he's doing.
And did you see where he said that, the FBI director was a liar, didn't know what he was talking about? Remember, he said he doesn't know what he's talking about. The doctors don't know what he's talking about. I've mentioned it before, Nate. Dr. Fauci has been under 5 different presidents.
True.
But when it comes to the 6th one, all of a sudden, he don't know what the hell he's talking about.
Right.
How does that work?
If you contradict what Trump wants, then he disagrees with you or you straight up don't know what you're talking about. He said the same thing about the CDC director last night.
Right. And you see the CDC director it seems like the last 2.5 weeks, he's come out against a lot of the things that Donald Trump and the Fox News crowd has been saying.
Oh, yeah. For good reason. I'm glad. We need somebody with backbone because we certainly don't have it from our governor.
I mean, we're talking about a man that made fun of Joe Biden for wearing a mask when he told Bob Woodward back in February that it's deadly.
Yeah.
It's a plague.
Yeah, I thought that was a missed opportunity by Biden. I thought he could have went harder to bring out the facts and the contradictions.
He kept getting interrupted, which what made the debate a disaster. Every single pundit, left and right, called last night a complete cluster. And they called it a complete cluster because the president acted like a petulant child.
He did.
If he was 10 years old, he would have been told to go sit over in the corner.
Right.
If it was a black mama, he probably would have got a whooping, going upstairs, and I'll call you when dinner's ready.
Right. Right.
And
all facts.
You know it.
All facts. I can't disagree with nothing you're saying. You're right.
I can't imagine acting like that in front of Dee, my mother, or your mom, Chairman Mom. Can you imagine the look she would have given? You don't sit your ass down somewhere and shut up. That's the look. You know how black mamas give you that look.
Right.
All they got to do is give you that stare. You know what that means.
Most deaf. You already know.
One stare means get over here. The other stare means I'm going to tear your ass up when you get home. You know it. So, yeah, man. Like I said, I was just waiting for Drop Smollett to call in. the Mason Mahler Stan. That's what I call him. The man, he's my Stan. I mean, he really is. But, yeah, yesterday, again, it should have been what we expected. We got what we expected. We got the white supremacists out there. He pulled out the Antifa card. Did you see that?
Yeah.
He's the whole idea that he's going to try to make Joe Biden a radical leftist. That falls on deaf ears. This goes back to a column written in the Atlantic probably about 2 months ago. I know I posted it on the Nathan Ivey Show. But they talked about how Donald Trump is going to have problems running against another white man. You know, he could play the birther conspiracy card from the sidelines against Barack Obama. He could play the male chauvinist, she's not fit, she's not mentally there card against Hillary Clinton. But you can't make Joe Biden out to be like some radical leftist, mural shading type of dude. That ain't Joe. That's just not Joe in any type of way. And then I'll tell you what, it was kind of refreshing for him to mention that, I do have a son that had a drug problem. Donald Trump would never admit that. He won't admit that, Barron might be a little afflicted.
A little twisted. I think he's got some kind of learning development or something like that.
Nate, I've never heard the man speak one word. The little boy, and I'm not going to pick on the kid, but I mean, hell, he's taller than his dad. What is he, like 14 years old? He's like 6'5" or something?
Is he? The last time I saw him, he was a little kid, like waist high.
No. Oh, you haven't seen him?
Nah.
Nate, he's taller than Donald Trump.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh,
yeah,
man,
they don't really put him out a
yeah.
whole lot. I think it's because they're trying to shield him from criticism.
So, no, actually, I think it's Melania. It's probably because, she still has that mom gene in her.
Oh, yeah.
Donald Trump don't have a father.
Yeah, my mother's going to be a mother and protect their baby. Hey, Mason Marlowe, I got to make a move, man. I appreciate the flows.
Hey, you have a good one, man. I'm about to clock in a little bit. You have a good one.
Yeah,
bro.
most def. Yeah, most def. Thanks for checking in. I appreciate you. I got to take a break as well. 513-873-7134. This is your morning destination for interesting conversation. Got to take a quick break. We'll come right back. Please like and share today's show. My question for you is, how would you describe, or should I say, back it up, in one word, describe the debate performances last night? I'm talking about moderator, president, and vice presidential candidate challenger. Our Vice President Joe Biden, who is a challenger. In one word, how would you describe their performance? And did you notice that black voters' issues got totally ignored last night? I'm live, I'm local, and I'm vocal. I'm Nathan Ivey. This is the Nathan Ivey Show, powered by Sin Digital Media, and we'll be right back.
Nathan Ivey Show is supported by listeners. Go to www.patreon.com/Nathan Ivey Show and help Nathan keep the show independent.
With the Bloomberg Black Business Report, I'm Donna Wilson. LeBron James and his business partner Maverick Carter have signed a 4-year deal with NBC Universal to produce film and TV projects about sports and culture. The production company Spring Hill has already started work on a film, Shooting Stars, which is based on the NBA champ's life. Southwest Airlines aims to double the percentage of racial diversity and increase gender diversity in its senior management by 2025, as well as boost diversity on its corporate board. And this week, Newark, New Jersey Mayor Ross Baraka announced the launch of the Newark 40 Acres in a Mule Fund that will invest in the city's Black and Latino business community. The fund's goal is to raise $100 million. So far, it's raised $2 million and has landed AT&T as one of its first corporate partners. That's your Bloomberg Black Business Report. I'm Donna Wilson.
Jill Schiller has been missing in action, and now we know why. Did you know that Jill Schiller, candidate for Hamilton County Treasurer, got away with a dangerous offense? Her friends and connections at Cincinnati City Hall turned their heads when she was racing through a Cincinnati public school zone doing 52 in a 20-mile-an-hour zone. She could have killed a child. As a mother of 3, that's concerning. 25,000 children are injured each year because of speeding in a school zone. 100 children are killed in school zones each year by people like Schiller. Schiller should have served 5 days in jail as the law states, but being privileged kept her out while you, the public, would have gone to jail. Her friends and connections at City Hall only fined her $60, and they quickly destroyed the evidence the next day. We cannot trust Schiller with our school children. Should we trust her to protect and safeguard our tax dollars? Vote for Charlie Winburn for Hamilton County Treasurer. We can trust him to safeguard our tax dollars and our children.
Paid for by friends of Charlie Winburn. This is Zoe Wesson. What side of history do you want to be on? The right side, or one where black people continue to be underrepresented in Hamilton County? Now's your chance to end 230 years of exclusion. In Charlie Winburn, we have a man that's received the Cincinnati NAACP President's Award, who fought on the Ohio Civil Rights Commission for 6 years, who received the Baptist Ministers Conference Community Service Award, Charlie Winburn has received the Southern Christian Leadership Conference Award and was honored by WDBZ The Buzz as Pastor of the Month. We know Charlie Winburn, and he knows us. He's the right man to put us on the right side of history. On Tuesday, November 3rd, vote for Charlie Winburn for Hamilton County Treasurer.
I am Charlie Winburn, and I'm asking you for your vote on Tuesday, November the 3rd, paid for by friends of Charlie Winburn.
You're listening to the Nathan Ivey Show. One man, one microphone, one mission. Now, let's get back to the flow.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Please take a second to like and share today's show. When you share the show, quite simply, more people see it. More people see us online. More people see us on Facebook. I appreciate it in advance. Good morning to you. We are live, local, and vocal, talking about the issues that matter most to you. Your morning destination for interesting conversation. Now, within the last 24 hours, you had the big presidential debate with sharing observations. I'm asking you to describe what you saw last night, your impressions, your feelings, in one word. In one word, describe the performance of the moderator and of the two candidates. Cruther writes, good morning, choppers. Miss D writes, greetings. Pat Rogers writes, good morning. Jessica writes, hola, beautiful black people, and the others too. I'm inside the chop shop. Good morning, everybody. Good to see you. As always, good to see you. Lots of stuff to discuss this morning. Taking your phone call at 513-873-7134. We've heard some strong opinions already. Letty writes, when the debate turns into a personal issues, the debate is over. And attacking deceased members deserved a good ass whooping. Crystal writes, Joe let Trump in his head, got frustrated and flustered. He should have treated Trump like the petulant child that he is. Perhaps so. I don't know, Nate. For the most part, are real voters looking solid policy answers or for a cat fight? I think that they're looking for both. I think in general, they're looking from a candidate, they're looking for policy. But these debates sometimes are reduced to cat fights. People are looking for the sizzle. You know what I'm saying? They want both. They want the steak and the sizzle. It is what it is. 513-873-7134 if you like to share your thoughts this morning. We got a couple people online. And then at 9 a.m., we're going to get a phone call from Ashley with Ask Ashley. You know, there's a couple new shows that are going to be starting next week from Sin Digital Media. And we'll be helping to amplify Black voices by increasing the amount of, shows that we offer to you. And I announced it yesterday. I'll say it again. So starting on Tuesday evenings at 7 p.m., starting next Tuesday, I want you to check out Valet Service with Fast Pitch. She'll be talking about people and politics with their own particular unique brand and style. That'll be an evening show, a live stream show that you can check out on Facebook initially. And of course, there'll be an audio podcast on Spreaker as well. And also, I think a lot of people in Cincinnati are familiar with Ask Ashley. She does a great job. She does Monday Night Juice, but she also does a show called Midday Juice. And Midday Juice will be coming to CDM starting next week. That'll be twice a week at 1 p.m. on Tuesdays and on Thursdays, Midday Juice. And that format of that show is, she takes questions from the audience and then answers with her own unique style. Very interesting, informative. And I want you to check it out. And she's going to give us a call about 9 a.m. this morning and kind of talk about the show and what you can expect. But along the way, I want to talk to you. What was your impression? What do you think? And we got Stefan on the line right now. Hey, good morning, Stefan. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Nathan, great. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. It's been a minute. How you doing, brother?
Man, hey, brother, one day at a time, fighting these little battles, what we going through as people, brother.
I heard that. The last time you were on the show, actually, you just didn't know it because I played some of what happened at City Cable on City Council via City Cable recently, and we caught some of your commentary to City Council, man. Hilarious stuff. Keep up the pressure.
man, you got to keep the pressure. You put more pressure, you might get diamonds. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but pressure busts pipes and creates diamonds. That's right.
Yes, sir. That debate last night, like a couple things real quick. I like to start my morning off with you, then get on Lincoln Show. That debate, man, that I'm laughing so hard. They talking over each other. Can't hear nothing what they talking about. Very childish. You hear Trump say, Biden, you made me rich. Y'all gave me a tax break. You and Obama. I mean, he telling on what the Democrats doing. Biden was nervous. He kept fumbling to me. To me, he kept fumbling because of fumbling like a football. Why I say that? Every time Trump get on a good subject, Biden frees up a little bit. You know what I mean? He starts stuttering, Medicaid. You know what I mean? He was messing up the word. It was straight up a clown show, man. I ain't gonna even lie, that was. That was a Bengals game, 23-23.
That's hilarious. He said a Bengals game.
What did you say?
You said you call it a Bengals game. That is funny stuff, man. That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's something else. But it was a shame, man. That was real. That shows right here who's running the country and how they acting. That show you what type of level they on. You might got money, but your brain is small as a mustard seed. It's sad, brother. But the next subject, I want to talk about two things too. The Special Improvement District. It's a new 3C DC, but it's going to be ran by the model group. And it started in 21 to 24. They asking for $775,000 for 4 years to come on the north side over the Rhine, south side or north side, one of them, to clean up. Remember this, 4 years, they're going to get the taxpayer dollars. 3CDC is getting some of that money too, $125,000, just to be a partner, just to show them the ropes. You know what I mean? I guess let them use some of the equipment. So you look at this, every 4 years, this 4 years right here, when it's up 21 to 24, then they're going to go back and get money from the business owners, property owners, resident owners. They're going to charge them service fees like sanitation, snow removal, graffiti removal. If you got 3CDC doing that type of stuff already, they need to clean all over the Rhine. You get what I'm saying, Nate?
I feel you. I'm looking at it right now.
That's not right. You do that. See, the one thing about Stefan, man, I don't lie on nobody. Get this clear out, man. I don't lie on nobody. Let y'all know on Facebook. I don't lie on nobody. I don't do that. I got facts. That's why people don't never want to debate with me when I speak on the subject, because I got facts on it. And the facts reveals the truth. But another thing, but ain't it a shame though, in 1963, Nate, that what was the cry back then? I wasn't even born yet. You probably wasn't either. But the cry was jobs and justice, right? 20-year anniversary of the march on Washington, D.C. The cry was what? Jobs and justice. And we in 2010 with the same thing. Now we're in 20, the same thing, jobs and justice. Why we keep begging for something that we can do for self? We got the power to do it. We got all these big wigs that got these doctorate degrees and these degrees and is in college. You know what I mean? But you can't help your own community build. Ain't no wrong saying we're going to separate. No, build. Make something happen for these communities. Not trying to push people go get a damn shot. You know what I mean? Go get a shot. Well, what are you telling them to eat right? You ain't even telling the people to eat right. You get what I'm saying? You just get a shot. You ain't telling them to eat right. You ain't telling them to go exercise. They ain't doing none of these organizations was doing none of that. They ain't. It's the only one who's doing the Cornell guy. And I ain't saying that because I'm cool with them. Nah, they was the only one doing that. Nobody else group saying this stuff. It's sad. We got all these churches, man. And none of those ministers can't even come together and just say, let's do this. Enough is enough. It starts with the ones that get called community leaders. You never see no white in a white community. Hi, my name is Billy. I'm the white community leader. You never see that. You see it only in the black community because the media put that on them. No, be that role model through ministers, all of them. You know what I mean? Put all that bad, that old nasty stuff, ministers, all that. Put that stuff in the closet. Come out and help your people. It's a shame, man. I had to get on it this morning because, man, we're going through so much. They're going through segregation all over again in the future. And our own people doing it. You know what I mean? They're assisting to this oppression. I had to get this off this morning on your show because I said, Nick got a show. Let me get on his show first. Let me till the soil this morning. But all this stuff, we got to stop playing. We see drama. Y'all seen that stuff last night? That's worse than watching the soap operas. General Hospitals and those Dateline. That's wrong. Look at this. Look who runs this America. And they playing us. And we can't wake up yet. You know what I mean? But my fault, Nate. It's
all good.
Sad what we going through.
It's all good, brother. I appreciate the call.
And anytime, brother. What time? What day is your shows be on? This my man Dave hearing.
Okay.
Last name, right?
Every weekday, man. Monday through Friday at 7:30 a.m.
Say it again.
Monday through Friday, weekdays. 7:30 a.m.
Okay. So the number, and it was kept ringing. Do you get that, the phone call when it kept ringing?
Yeah, well, what happens is, man, I'm a one-man operation right now. So,
right.
I'm only running one phone line. So I saw you calling in, but I already have somebody on the air.
Oh, that's
right.
Okay.
So I can put you on hold and you sort of like backstage and then bring you on when that caller leaves.
Right. Another thing before I go, brother, did you hear about what's his name? The New York, what's the mayor? Bloomberg or something like that?
Doing what?
I caught glimpses on your radio show just now. It was like commercial. He was putting up, helping the community, the black community, raising $100 million.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about the Bloomberg radio, the Urban Report there. Yeah. And also LeBron James. Yeah, I'm aware of that. I heard it on there on Bloomberg as well.
See, what's so hard about doing something like that and be sincere about doing it? Not like, say, for example, the Black Lives Matter organization. That's full of it to me. But they donate all that money to that organization. They a lot of money to the organization. They got donated from different bigwigs, Apple, Walmart, McDonald's, millions of dollars, millions. Why is not in these communities? It's supposed to be in these communities, helping the community. Why say that, Nate? Down in Atlanta, this biracial guy, he got busted for spending $200,000 money laundry. $200,000 that money got raised in. I saw that article. I said, hold up. First of all, whoever accepted that money from these big corporations in different cities, they got to be responsible. So whoever's run Cincinnati's Black Lives Matter, you got to be transparent. They ain't transparent at all. You got to be transparent with the community. Not just come out when the police kill a black man. Nah, come out, help communities, black on black crime, because the person is died anyway. You get what I'm saying? So that's what this black organization, this Black Lives Matter organization, whoever runs this region, y'all got donated millions because that got proof. It's on the records. Y'all need to help these communities, these black businesses, these homeowners. These elderly folks can't get their home fixed up, man. You know why, Nate? Because the black folks, these so-called community leaders, actually got with the Community Reinvestment Act doing the bank. You know about that, right? 1977 when redlining, discriminatory. Okay, them banks got sued. But these ministers got together, these groups, not just the ministers, these other organization development groups got together, started using this bank money. You get what I'm saying? Giving people tax initiatives, tax breaks, all this stuff like this. I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to let you go, brother. Like Sugar and Spice down on Sycamore. They already got a Sugar and Spice on Redden Road. Why y'all getting Sugar and Spice down here on Sycamore? It's only 5,000 square feet. Why did y'all give them $1.2 million tax abatement for 15 years? Come on, man. But won't help the blacks fix up their home, help them paint their homes, or help them fix their roof. All these games, we gotta start speaking on this. I can't be the only one come down to City Hall He do, man. He a cornball. Wait till I see him. I hope he be a council member today. I hope he do. I'm gonna get him. Look what he said. I'm gonna let you go on this.
Yeah, I got somebody coming in, Stefan. So I got to make a move.
My fault.
Yeah, I got a guest coming in at 9.
But yeah, all right, then, good brother. Man,
all right.
Always
good talking with you.
Talk to you. Yes, sir.
Most deaf.
All right.
That's Stefan.
All right, Facebook folks.
Yeah, take it easy. You know, we may have had some technical difficulties due Stefan's call right there. If it did, then my apologies. You know, I want you to have a seamless experience with me every single morning. But it looks like people were able to see Stefan, but on my screen, I just had to maybe restart it. Now, if we're on Spreaker, you're not affected by that. It was just a visual element of the show. So let me know in the comment section if you had any issues. Let me go back to the phones and say good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. What's up, Ashley?
How are you, Nathan?
I'm doing super good. And thank you for your time this morning. I know that you are very busy. I appreciate it. But I announced to my audience yesterday the big news that you're going to be bringing Midday Juice over to CDM, Sin Digital Media. And I just wanted...
I'm so excited.
Oh, you know, I've wanted to work with you for a while. I'm just super transparent about it. I think you're super talented. And I 100%, I'll say this to you privately. I'll say it to you publicly. I 100% believe that Cincinnati has so much talent. And I want to work with people like you and other folks just to amplify voices. You know, that's what I'm all about. So I thought it might be a good idea for you to call into the show and just kind of introduce yourself and talk about what we can expect next Tuesday and Thursday from Midday Juice.
Awesome. Well, those of you that don't know who I am, good morning. I'm Ashley. I started off, when I was a little kid, started off reading Dear Abby. Was absolutely in love with the newspaper column. And it was just something that was on my heart a couple of years ago to start. So I started Ask Ashley. And basically people just come out and they ask questions and I give heartfelt answers. The questions that they've had have been a little bit of a doozy. You know, sometimes it's a little bit of drama, sometimes it's not. But I genuinely care about people. I genuinely want to spread as much positive energy as I can through some of the ugliest situations. So next Tuesday and Thursday, I'll be bringing the show back. And it'll be set up a little similar to how Nathan's show is set up. You can call in with your question that you may need advice on, or we'll just go based off of the email and the topic that we give or that's been sent to me via email. And I'll go live just like Nathan is doing, and we'll, you know, have a good time. And I want people to give their input too, because I don't know everything and I never come off like I do know everything. But at the same time, like I said, I genuinely care about people, and I just want to provide people with an outlet because we are in some very, very ugly times, and not everybody has somebody to talk to.
All good. Sounds great. And if someone wants to email you a question, what's your email address?
It is the number 1, ask, A-S-K, Ashley, A-S-H-L-E-E @gmail.com. Or they can just go ahead and shoot me a DM directly on Facebook at Ask Ashley.
Yep. And you're on YouTube as well because you're doing the Monday Night Juice show. So very busy.
Yeah, Monday Night Juice is more so for entrepreneurs to come on the show, allowing them to have a platform to talk about their indifferences, their struggles, how they've overcome certain situations, any trials and tribulations, and then just give a little bit of hope. So Monday Night Juice is a little different than Midday Juice, but Midday Juice is where we get the real juice from. So I'm excited to be working with you on that.
Yeah, almost definitely. I love the sizzle. I love the steak, but I love the sizzle too. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that's next Tuesday. It'll be Tuesdays and Thursdays, 1 p.m. So a little midday flavor for you, you know, to kind of break up the monotony of your routine. And if you got questions and or you have comments about the questions, you can feel free to chime in. And as she said, it'll be a video. It was always a video show, but very similar to what we've been doing with some of the other shows. I'm looking forward to it. I really am. Thank you for your time.
Yeah,
thank you for your time.
Thank you. Have a great day. Thank you.
You too. Take it easy. That's Ask Ashley. And you can find her on Facebook. Looking forward to it. Again, I know we may have had a little bit of interruption there. My apologies. I'll take the heat on that. I am the host of the show and the producer. However, you know how these things go. You can't control everything in these digital days and times. So if you You had an interruption there. At least on my end, it seemed like everything had locked up. If it didn't, you might be like, Nate, what you talking about? Well, ignore me and let's get back to the flows. All right. But again, that next week, 2 new shows, and there are 4 more shows that I'll be unveiling and introducing coming to CDM as well. 2 of which are shows that are brand new shows, totally new shows, new voices from the ground up. And I'm really excited about it. There's a lot of talent in the city of Cincinnati, a lot of talent in the greater Cincinnati area. And as I said before, one man, one microphone, one mission. My mission is amplifying Black voices, marginalized voices in the greater Cincinnati area and beyond. And we're just getting started. But let me get back to our original topic conversation. We were sharing thoughts about what happened last night. My question to you is, in one word, how would you describe the debate performances from last night? I'm speaking of moderator, challenger, Vice President Joe Biden, and the incumbent President Donald Trump. I want to get your thoughts. And also, did you notice, as I did, that Black voter issues were basically ignored? I mean, I appreciate the fact that they talked about white supremacy and things like that. That's cool. That's cool. I'm here for that. That's what time it is. I wish they would drill down more. I wish that we understood how the candidates felt about, no-knock warrants, about qualified immunity, trying to really get to the heart of some of these policy issues. But what's your take on it? Again, 513-873-7134. Let's go straight to the phones. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the show.
What's up, Nate? It's your girl, Donnie B. I had to call in today. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I'm glad you did. Good morning.
So, I got flows on the presidential debate. And my take is that Donald Trump won. And before the child star tries to accuse me of being a Trump supporter, let me explain. So, in my opinion, the goal of the presidential debates should be to re-energize your base, try to bring people that are in the middle, that are on the fence, to your side of the aisle, and showcasing the key points of your presidential position, and letting everybody know, like, hey, if you vote for me, here's what I'm going to do. None of that happened for any candidate at all. You can't name one thing that Biden said that's a takeaway and it's being played in the media right now. But everybody is talking about Trump re-energizing his white supremacy base with that whole Proud Boys, stand back and stand by. And I feel like that was a cattle call to his racist base. Like, yo, y'all know what time it is. Come to the polls. And y'all know what time it is. I'm not going to denounce y'all. I support you. You do your job. And so I feel like we always, as Democrats, play checkers and not chess. So everybody's like, oh, Trump was a disaster. He was unprofessional. He was rude. He was a bully. He was all these things. Mission accomplished. Trump knows that he's trash. And Trump knows that he can't go toe to toe with Biden on the facts because the facts are against him. So his mission coming into the debate, in my opinion, was to do exactly what he did. Create utter chaos, bullying, not letting Biden get a word in edgewise, and not talking about anything of substance, just hurling random insults, flustering the moderator so that everything can remain the same, in addition to him giving a shout out to his racist base. On the flip side, what exactly did Biden achieve last night? I know no more about Biden's position than I did before the debate started. If you were in the middle and on the fence, after last night's debate, you're not walking away like, oh, I'm now decided I'm Team Biden, because Biden was an epic fail on the issues. How do you talk about COVID-19? And as a Democratic candidate who was the vice president when Obama handled a pandemic successfully, and you don't talk about 3 key things about COVID: the stimulus package and how it literally ran out of money and did not help the American people the way it was supposed to. You don't talk about the fact that Trump blamed something about China on Biden last night. Biden didn't bounce back and say, hey, if you hate China so much, then why did you give China 17.8 tons of the PPE stockpile that Obama left us to fight a pandemic? You gave that away to China in February, which caused us to have to shelter in place and close down and destroy the economy in March. Biden didn't discuss that at all. Then he's like, yo, I wear a face mask and nobody else. I support COVID-19, safety efforts. And I'm like, Biden, how do you miss bringing up that dude that went to Trump's rally and died at the rally from COVID-19? You didn't bring it up.
Herman Cain.
Yeah. I'm like, how do you, in good conscience, talk about COVID-19 and let Trump be the one to bring it up, and you don't bring up Herman Cain and Joe Biden? That's not a stuttering problem, folks. So let's not do the whole, oh my God, I feel bad for Biden because he basically has a physical disability and he stutters. No, Biden is not mentally sharp. And it wasn't a stuttering problem. Biden literally forgot some of the topics. Did you see there were 3 times where the moderator had to actually remind Biden of what the hell the topic was that he was supposed to be talking about? I'm like, dude, did you not practice? I think you took the black vote and the Democratic vote for granted because Trump is such a disaster. You think you got this on lock. You came in unprepared, got easily flustered, end up being unprofessional and telling Trump to shut up and calling him a clown. I'm like, you're running for president of the United States. This ain't the Chop Shop. This ain't the Is It Just Me podcast show. This ain't your living room. You're running to be the president of the United States and a leader of the free world. And you're in a presidential debate telling people to shut up. It was a street brawl. Both of them were unprofessional and ghetto as hell. And it was an embarrassment to the country that these are our 2 choices. And I'm like, if anybody's walking around here like Biden won because Trump was rude, you're delusional, what's the goal of the debate? The goal of the debate is to do those 3 things, and Biden didn't do that. But what did Trump do? A nationwide call on a nationwide platform to his racist base. Stand back, and stand by. That was the goal of last night. Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
No substantive issues were achieved.
I made the same observation about Herman Cain last night. I think you're right about that because it was the context and what it was set up. Trump was like, oh, we did the rallies and it's cost us nothing. I'm like, wait a minute. The chairman of Black Voices for Trump died of COVID after going to the rally. If it was me, I would have brought out Herman Cain so quick. Like, wait a minute, Herman Cain don't matter? I thought there was a few opportunities that Joe missed that were just like softballs in which he should have, if you put it, pounced back and, got his word in. It was based on facts. And I think it would have put him in a better light.
It would have. I can't believe when the race questions came up, it was the moderator, Chris Wallace, that had to bring up the fact that Trump shut down diversity and bias training for the government. Biden didn't even bring that up. And then I'm like, okay, Kamala Harris is your vice presidential nominee. And Kamala Harris and Cory Booker sponsored the Justice and Policing Act to combat police brutality. And when those issues came up, you didn't even bring up her bill that's pending in the Senate. So I'm like, who got you ready? I want to know what happened. You didn't even bring up and hammer home the fact that Trump only paid $750 in taxes. That came up, but you didn't bring up like, yo, you could have easily combated the BS and said, yo, in 2019, I paid $300,000 in taxes myself. What federal taxes did you pay Trump in 2019? Cut the BS. So I just felt like
that was another missed opportunity. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was an epic fail for us because we need, as Democrats and as the Biden-Harris ticket, we needed to win over those Bernie Sanders alt-left progressives that really ain't fooling with Biden. And last night was supposed to be the first day of him trying to do that. We also need to highlight, the lies and the epic fails of Trump. We didn't do that either. So I'm like, exactly what did we achieve on the Biden-Harris team last night where everybody's like, he won? Why? Because he didn't cut Trump off? But that's not the standard for winning a debate. You're supposed to win the hearts and minds of the people. I don't think anybody walked away changing their opinion about a damn thing. It was a cluster screw up. It was a street brawl for no reason. Is it just me?
Yeah, people walked out the same way they walked in my opinion. Nothing, nobody necessarily won anybody over. And
exactly.
I think right now Biden is up in the polls for whatever that means. So you can make an argument that maybe Trump had more ground to make up, but people was all big on the polls 4 years ago and we see what happened. So, it is what I was disappointed. I was disappointed and again, I know what to expect. It wasn't about black voters per se, but I just felt like even the questions as it related to black people, it could have been deeper and more specific about policy, qualified immunity, no-knock warrants, real reforms, rather than this gloss over about white supremacy and will you denounce the Proud Boys. I mean, it made for good TV, but in terms of substance, black people's issues is bigger than just our relationship with police brutality. And the police, what about, the high cost of college? If black females is carrying the most debt, what's your plan, candidates? What about, low wages? What's your plan, candidates? What about affordable housing? What's your plans? What about black entrepreneurs? What is your plan? And, they do this every 4 years where they condense our issues to the latest outrage about police brutality. And I don't think that we're affected. I also think we need a third party up on the stage to hold the Democrats and Republicans to task. We need another voice because both parties have sold us out and not really represented us, in my opinion. But before you leave, tell people what's going on tonight.
Before I get off the phone, is we need a third party. Well, Bernie Sanders was really an independent that ran on a Democratic ticket. We had a third party voice, and people might not like it, but we're all the people that told us that they voted for Biden in the primary because they thought that when we got to this moment, that Biden would be the best chance of winning against Trump. But I tell you what, Bernie Sanders would have handled his business last night and wouldn't have got his ass handed to him the way the way Biden did yesterday. He wouldn't have fumbled on the issues. He wouldn't have forgot the topic, and he would not have let Trump dominate the conversation. So I really feel like, unfortunately, we are about to lose this election because the Democrats put all their eggs in the wrong basket. That's just me. And I'm going to vote for Harris, because I have no choice because Trump is a disaster and he does have to go. But I'm not even sure if my vote and support towards Biden is going to matter. I think he is an epic failure as a Democratic candidate on so many levels. And I feel like Trump's going to win, not by stealing the election, but by re-energizing his base. And Biden energizes no one. Period. That's how I feel.
Tonight, tell people what's going on tonight and about the forum.
Oh, yeah. So tonight is the NAACP's Judicial Candidates Forum. So we will be talking to Alan Triggs, who's running for Court of Common Pleas, Stacey DeGraffenreid, for those who don't remember her. She was the prosecutor in both Ray Tenzing trials. And then we got Wendy Cross and Ethna Cooper. So it's going to be good. I'm moderating tonight. It starts at 6. And I'm not asking cookie cutter questions like, hey, tell me why you want to be a judge. I got specific questions to specific candidates about specific things in the community and in the court system that I feel like are pertinent to the community, like things that happened in the Ray Tenzing trial that shouldn't. The press to reopen the court for, evictions. I got a lot of good, tough questions for the candidates. So tune into the NAACP. They're going to do it on Facebook Live at 6.
At 6 p.m.
Judicial Candidates Debate, 6 p.m. So it's going to be good.
All right. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you for the call, Donnie.
All right.
Yep. Take it easy.
Thank you.
Yep. Is It Just Me podcast on Fridays at 12:30 p.m. hosted by my homegirl, Donnie B. That'll be at 12:30 p.m. on Fridays. And, of course, the forum tonight. And shout out to the NAACP and the Prince Hall Masons and continuing their work during these digital times. Everybody shut in. People aren't really going out to events. But their commitment to our community here in Cincinnati is unwavering. And they'll have another opportunity tonight for you to get more information about people who will be on the ballot. You know what I'm saying? I agree 100% with the NAACP and the Prince Hall Masons. I mean, we don't want you to go into to vote and you're reading these names for the first time. You're seeing these names for the first time and you don't really know who these candidates are. That's a loser right there. Because what's going to happen is you're going to make an uninformed decision or you're going to leave it blank. And both are not good enough. Every single one of these elected positions matter. They all matter. All right. 513-873-7134. You've got my number right there. If you'd like to share your thoughts, you've got it. It's a free call anywhere in the country, in some parts of the world. And just getting your response to what happened last night. We haven't even really got into what's happening with the collaborative. That might be a conversation that we push off to tomorrow. I know it's an ongoing conversation. Perhaps I can reach out to Iris Rowley, who better to speak, about what's going on, as she always does here on the show. I really appreciate her input as well. But there are some interesting developments and things that are happening in Cincinnati. And I want to make sure I use this show. We have a lot of fun. We talk about a whole lot of issues, but I want to make sure that we use this show to inform you, to connect you to what's going on. So last night you had the big debate. In one word, can you describe to me, what you saw? Describe to me the performances of the moderator, the incumbent, that's Donald Trump, the challenger, that's Vice President Joe Biden. What is your general opinion? Let's go back to the phones and say good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, Nate. This is Donita. How are you?
Hey, Donita. Good morning. I'm doing great. Welcome.
Well, I can't use one word, unfortunately. And I guess I don't want to cuss on your show, but you can't use one word to describe what we saw last night. But I will say this. I was listening to Donnie B's call, and she said that the reason why Biden is going to lose is because of things that happened last night. And she's wrong. The reason why Biden is going to lose is because Republicans fall in line and Democrats cannibalize. Republicans don't care what Donald Trump says or does. They vote party over everything. Party over this country, party over policy. Everything is about their party. We don't do that as Democrats. Bernie Sanders, let me say it for anybody who doesn't know, Bernie Sanders lost. It's over. It's time to move on. Get behind the candidate, because that's what they're going to do. And that's what they have done. Bernie Sanders is not a Democrat. He's an independent. So he should either run as an independent, which he won't win, but quit tearing down the Democratic Party. You cannot sit here and give a whole long speech about why you hate Joe Biden and then say, well, he's going to lose because of this. No, he's going to lose because people hear that. Undecided, listen to that. And what happens is they stay home. Democrats stay home. Republicans don't. They are going to vote for their candidate. The most important thing to white conservative Christians is abortion. That's why they vote. If you have a candidate who says, I am going to abolish abortion, that's who they're voting for. They could give a damn less about Trump being a racist. They could give a damn less about Trump not caring about the LGBTQ community, because they don't. They vote against their own interests because they're not the top 1% of the country. But you know why they do that? Because a man says right to life. That's it, period. So we got to get out of this. Oh, we need first get them out of office, get the Senate and the House back, vote Democrat in your own cities, in your own state, so we can make a change. If you don't make a change all the way down the line, nothing is going to happen.
Well, Donita, you're certainly right about one thing, and that is these white evangelicals. You so right. If you say you're against abortion, they don't care if you cheat on your wife. They don't care if you paid off porn stars. They don't care if you said you grabbed women by the ussy. They don't care if you lie, cheat, steal. They don't care as long as you are in the same position as they are when it comes to abortion. That has been proven true by Trump, 100%. 100%.
As long as you don't kill unborn babies and don't take away their guns, they're fine.
They're fine. They don't care what you say. They don't care what you do. They don't care if you uncouth, unpresidential, unmanly, sexist, chauvinist, racist, makes no difference. And on the other side, people don't have that kind of one issue, one-minded determinedness, viewpoint.
And really and truly, you shouldn't. I'm not a one-issue voter. You know what I mean? Really. But at the same time, I understand how important my vote is, and understand that every last one of them are going to vote for him. So if we stay home, he wins. If you are stupid enough, and I'm sorry, and I hate to challenge people's intelligence, but if you are stupid enough to support a third party candidate, you're voting for Donald Trump. Period. Point blank. It's not going to happen. You have wasted your vote. If you stay home, you have voted for Donald Trump. Period. Point blank. There's no other way around it. And the only thing that I would say that I wish that Biden would have done last night, he should have had more an Elizabeth Warren mentality. Think about it. When people ask Elizabeth Warren, what are you going to do about this? Her first response is, I have a plan for that. And she runs it down. That is the script that he should have stuck to last night. When Trump said, don't talk to me about being smart, he should have pivoted and said, well, you know what's going to be smart, American people? Vote for me because I have a plan for this, and ran down what his plan was. Yeah. If he, like Donnie said, he should have kept highlighting the lies, we'd be there all night. Everybody knows what the lies are. You cannot attack Donald Trump on his lies because that's what? He don't care. Mm-hmm. He don't care that he's a liar. Mm-hmm. He will sit there in your face and tell you, no, I'm not. So you can't hammer that point. That's like being a hamster on a wheel. But what he should have done, and I will agree, he did not acquiesce his plan well enough. That is why undecided voters walked away with nothing, because they don't give a shit about Donald Trump. They really just want to hear what is the plan. Mm-hmm. If you go to his website, the plan is laid out for you, but people don't read. So what he needs to do is out of his mouth, like Elizabeth Warren kept saying, I have a plan for that. I have a plan. Whether you agree with her plans or not, she lets you know every time what her plan was, step by step. So you at least were informed as to what she was going to do. And that's what Biden has to do. He cannot get in the mud with Trump. Because when you get in the mud with pigs, you get muddy too. And that's a race you're not going to win with him. He loved it. That's what he wanted. He wanted Biden to get into the dirt, do the name calling and all of that's what he wanted. Now, I think Biden did a good job of not doing it. And I will agree there were some times, some things that he could have hammered on. But let me challenge you on the Herman Cain thing. If he would have said that, you got to remember, Herman Cain has a family. You got to remember, now you have to think like a politician. You know what I mean? And you got to think political. How many people would he have alienated by saying that Herman Cain died as a result of going to a Trump rally? That's in the gutter. I think he would have alienated far more people than he would have won with that remark.
I disagree.
You gotta remember, he's not just playing to us. He has to win the black vote, but we're not the only one he's playing to. And then I think what we have to understand is he's got a whole lot of ground that he's got to get a whole lot of people. So he can't. I think that would have alienated because I would have been turned off by it.
I would not. And let me tell you why. The reason why I think it was fair is because Trump brought it up. Trump brought it up, and the context was, well, Chris Wallace asked him about, having these rallies in person, during the age of COVID-19, and are you concerned about it spreading the virus? That opened the door. Trump came back beating on his chest talking about, oh, yeah, we've done the rallies, and it hasn't cost us anything. There's two ways to look at it. Number one, you're overlooking the life of this black man, Herman Cain, who's the chairman of Black Voices for Trump, who died after going to the Tulsa rally. To me, that opened the door for Joe Biden to make that point, and I think it would have been a good point. I would have liked to have seen how Trump sort of maneuvered his way out of it because it's all facts, it's all true.
But it's not. No, a reasonable person would make that conclusion. Again, a reasonable person. But when you dealing with this Trump era, we're not dealing with reasonable people. We're not dealing with people that have deductive reasoning. Because you never vote for that fool in the first place if you did. You know what I mean? But I also think that we have got to, again, stop cannibalizing our candidates. Like Joe Biden was correct. Last night, he is the voice of the Democratic Party. I am sorry. Bernie Sanders is not. What Bernie could have, would have, should have did, he should have did in the primary. And if he had done that, then he would have won. But he did not. We have to move on from Bernie Sanders.
Okay.
We have to either support our candidate or don't. And I'm not telling people not to challenge, not to challenge those who we elect and hold them accountable. But now ain't the damn time. We got to get him elected now. Tearing him down right now is doing nothing for the cause. Nothing. Because all they're going to do is play those sound bites. That's it.
Danita, thank you for the call. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Yeah, some of the most unfiltered black voices in Cincinnati are heard here on the Nathan Ivey Show and with CDM. I love it. We can always agree to disagree, and we can have divergent points of view. I think it just makes for better conversations because, nobody is 100% right. We all have different viewpoints. I'll say it again. You can always challenge me, disagree with me, tell me I'm dead wrong. I won't get in my feelings. I may push back, challenge you back, but, we can always just have the conversation. You know what I'm saying? I really, really, really like divergent points of view. I came up at a public radio station where that was the tagline, W88, WAIF, 88.3, the home of divergent points of view. So I love it. We need more of this. That's what time it is, in my opinion. 513-873-7134. Getting your thoughts and opinions. What do you think about the last few calls? What is your opinion? What did you think about the debate last night? If you watched it, if you didn't, I think it's worth your time. I think it's worth your time. I do. I think it's worth your time because you get a chance to see the both of the candidates on TV. You get a chance to see them kind of going head to head. I agree. It could have been much better. The moderator could have taken more control. At the same time, in a situation like this, you're limited. It's not like the Nathan Ivey Show where I can cut you off or I can cut your mic or I can cut your cam. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like that in a situation like that. So I just felt like Chris Wallace, he ended with the type of tone and style that he should have started with. You know what I'm saying? Because if not, people will run right over you. Trump will run right over you. We know he has that personality. You can't allow that to happen. You got to stand your ground and be as tough and as strong as you possibly can be. That's just my opinion. What's your opinion? 513-873-7134. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning and welcome. Hey, good morning. Welcome. Okay, let's go back to the phones again. Let's see. Hey, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, Nathan. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Brother. Fame, or you don't like IT? So we'll just go with Fame. That work?
Oh, well, that's fine today, because today is a very emotional show, very, very emotionally driven show. Because when you opened your opening monologue, you said, my impressions is if you were a Democrat before the debate, you probably were a Democrat. We're going to vote Democrat after it now. Same thing with the Republicans, however you said it. You remember saying that?
Yeah. In my opinion, people walked into the debate and used the same door to walk out. So if you were undecided, you're probably still undecided. And same thing for Democrat and Republican. That's my opinion.
And I'll be goddamn if Glenn and Drop didn't prove you right off the rip. First two calls right off the bat, just confirm what you had already suspected. Like, damn, and the way they were trumpeting, pardon the pun, trumpeting for their each candidate, it was just like, I saw none of that. I just saw two old ass white men arguing, fussing, claiming the other guys, claiming the other guy, I'm not as racist as you are. Things like that. It was kind of petty and weak. But much like Donnie B said, finally I get to call after her and trash her call like she likes to do mine. But I ain't gonna do that to her. But no, much like she said, I mean, we're voting for Biden out of a default at this point, because I will say, Drop did say this. It was very poignant. He's like, ain't no more being on the fence as a black person in America. You got to pick a side now. Yeah, so because Trump is a train wreck. We've got to vote for Biden just out of default. That guy shouldn't be a presidential candidate. Any other year, he gets smoked by anybody. Bush, the first Bush, Ray, any of them smoking of the last Republicans. McCain would beat him. And he's probably got a worse demeanor than him. But, and also, I just wanted to, I know it's a little off topic. I just wanted to ask you, how do you feel about game one tonight? Lakers, Heat.
I feel like it's going to be fun to watch for basketball fans. You got all the great storylines, right? You got LeBron, 10th time in the finals. So all LeBron fans and haters. You got all the fans of Laker Nation, right? One of the most successful NBA franchises and the most profitable, right? The most profitable in an NBA franchise. You got LeBron going against his former team that he won his first championships with, against the coach that that coached him. And you got Pat Riley up in the front office, and we know that LeBron and Pat Riley had a little, falling out. That's one of the reasons why LeBron left, and now they're meeting up in the finals. You got a team full of veterans with the Los Angeles Lakers against a team full of, they got a couple of veterans, but primarily these are younger dudes led by Jimmy Butler, who's a rising star. Will the zone defense work against the Los Angeles Lakers, which is the worst three-point shooting team? Will Jimmy shut down LeBron? Will Bam shut down AD? So, I think you got a lot of storylines. In terms of prognosticating the end of it, I'm leading with, my heart more than my head, because me, I support LeBron because he has so many haters and he's a son of Ohio like myself. I see Lakers winning this. But those are my thoughts. What about you?
Yeah, you went through all those potential storylines. The only one that matters, as far as I'm concerned, is LeBron versus Riley, because never in the history of sports has a player won 2 titles for a team and then never be considered part of the family. LeBron isn't considered a part of the Miami Heat tradition. It's D-Wade and Alonzo Mourning. Nobody considers LeBron, you know what I'm saying, even though he went to the finals 4 straight years with those guys.
And Haslam.
Just for whatever
Haslam.
reason. Say what?
Haslam. He's part of the family,
yes,
too.
And Haslam. Yeah, LeBron's not really considered part of the family. He's the successful brother who kind of like, what was that movie, Roscoe Jenkins Goes Home, with Martin Lawrence and them? You remember that movie?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, he's kind of like him. He's that guy. He's just outcast. Yeah, we know you was here, but we don't really rock with you. It'll be a gentleman's sweep by the Lakers, though. They'll win in 5.
Win in 5, huh?
Sweep.
LeBron gets his ring number 4?
Maybe 6. Yeah. The Lakers got the best 2 players on the court by far. Lakers got 2 Hall of Famers. Jimmy Butler is the eye.
I think
grand scheme of players at his position, you'll name 20 before you think of him.
I like Jimmy Butler as a player. I do. He's one of the players I like to watch. I just like his heart and his attitude and his edge. What's the line on it? I know this is what you do. I'm just curious. How do you make money off of this? What's the best lines and best odds?
Well, I kind of like the Heat to kind of steal game 1. Like I said, it'll be a gentleman's sweep by the Lakers. I kind of like the Heat to steal game 1. But the smart, I also like LeBron to get a triple-double tonight plus 255, which means if you bet 100 and he gets a triple-double, you'll win 255 plus your 100 back. You see what I'm saying? He always comes out in game 1 and asserts himself.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'll get a triple-double, especially game 1. You got the Riley angle, all that. I like what you're talking about 3-point shooting. He's going to have to do a little extra other stuff because the Lakers ain't going to be knocking down shots and running. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah, I think the whole I think the whole world that you're in right now, sports betting, not to cut you off, I think it's fascinating. It's just so many different ways that you can bet on, right? Like how do you, what determines?
No. Hold on. I don't bet.
Not bet.
I invest.
Right.
Yeah, that's the N word.
That's the N word, right. Sorry about that. Right.
Thank you.
But there's so many things that you can wager on, right?
Invest.
I'm sorry, invest in. How is that determined? How do you determine the various things that you can invest on? Is that predetermined or is it up to the investor?
Yeah, it's predetermined.
It's predetermined.
It's predetermined by the people, the sports book. They will, allow whatever, investment opportunities they want.
Right. Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah. Like you can invest in Bam Adebayo to go over 16.5 points. I don't really see it. These Lakers are too long, but he might. He's kind of thick, likes to bang a little bit. You ain't got to really run plays for him. But between Dwight Howard, AD, and JaVale, they're just too long for him. Everybody's 7 feet tall. He's 6'9". You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do see what you're saying. Yeah, it's fascinating, man.
I just don't. But yeah, that's all I wanted. I just wanted to, say I totally agree with Donnie B. We're screwed as Americans that these two are our candidates. It's kind of like the Cat Williams joke. It's kind of like that Cat Williams joke. Can we be single for a minute and just date a president and see what happens? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, neither one of these guys are worth our time. But yeah, that's it, baby. It's been real. I had fun. I'll holler.
Appreciate the call. You say baby? Must be a sports investment type of lingo. Fame Rothstein. Remember the movie Casino? Sam Rothstein? There it is. What did he do? He was what was that? I'm not sure the term they used. Good morning to you. Listen, we had a couple of calls while I was talking with Mr. Rothstein there. 420 number. Please call me back and I'll try to get you on the show. Okay, I'll try to get you in. Actually, very fortunately. But right now I'm a one-man operation and I'm running just a couple of lines. So I got an on-air line and a hold line, right? There it is, 462 number. That's the number it was. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing? I was looking at your show and I was calling about the debate.
Yeah, for sure. What's your name, brother?
My name is Ray.
Hey, Ray. Good morning.
The debate was, to me, it was entertaining. You ever watch the Muppet Show where you had the two old guys that always sit up in the stand, they always yapping at each other and stuff?
Yeah.
That's all I could see throughout the whole show. And I realized that Donald Trump is entertaining. No matter what they say or what they do, he's going to come back with. It's like two kids it's like two kids sitting in the classroom and they both have something to come. They got to have the last word. And they're going to say whatever they got to say to get the last word in. And it ain't got nothing to do with what's going on. It's just as long as they get that last word in. And I come to realize, like, what people are going to have to do is go vote and make sure they vote for their city and state council. Because if you're going to go for Democrat, you're going to have to try getting Democrats in the White House. You're going to have to fill them seats with Democrats. Because if he do become the president, and if he go in there and he line up all his soldiers where he wants them to be, he's going to eliminate whatever he can eliminate. And here's the bad part about it. People have the right to believe in what they want to believe in. They have the right to vote for what they want to vote for. But here's the thing. You're going to vote for someone. Intention is to eliminate whatever it is you worked hard to have. That's regardless if you're a Republican or a Democrat. And a lot of people, that's like the one lady said, the people that's voting Republican, they don't care if he's a liar, if he's a cheater, if he's this. As long as he believes in what they believe in, that's how they're sectioned off. As long as he believes in that one thing we believe in, he got our vote. As long as he's able to do one thing that we expect him to do, he got our vote. But the question is how much do you have to give up for you to give him your vote? You know what I'm saying? To get him to do that one thing. And the thing a lot of people keep saying is a lot of these young voters got to get up and vote. Here's the thing. I think I didn't really start voting until Clinton ran for president. And when Clinton ran for president, I watched him started in his first campaign. In the first term he became president, I watched him go to college, to high schools and junior high schools, talking to the kids, because he knew in 4 more years, these are going to be the ones that's going to help me get my second term. And when you're young and you're working and you out doing what you need to do, politics don't come into play until you decide to get in your mid-30s, early 30s. You got kids. Now you got to figure out what's the right school to go to, what the taxes going to be like, can I afford this, can I afford that. A lot of these politicians are going to have to start showing these young people, like, in 5-10 years from now, look at where your parents are. Look at people you know and age is at now, and ask yourself, how can I get to that point where either I'm maintaining and not struggling and able to have something, and start looking at, what politics is going to represent the people to the fullest, for this is not eliminating stuff. And this is the thing what people have to understand. Us as people, we're going to have to stop looking at things as it's a personal issue. We're going to have to keep it real. I don't think neither one of these guys got an idea how to eliminate racism, how to eliminate what Black and brown people go through in this country, how to eliminate the economic status of certain groups make a certain amount of money and certain groups don't. All they looking at is a win, and to put their name on that wall with all the other people who was president and this and that. And until the people start realizing, like, hey, we need to stop fighting amongst each other and figure out what do we need to do to make this country better. Because if we don't, what's going to happen is what they're trying to do now. They're going to find a way to come in here, eliminate jobs, put robots where you got humans doing the job, eliminate industries where they don't have to hire people. They don't even have to hire no one. They can send it out of the country to have stuff done and come back. And we're going to become one of those countries where we're really, really hurting in this economic war. And that's the bad part, is that we're too busy trying to party and do this and do that. We're not acknowledging what's really going on. You know what I'm saying? Because it's gonna be a scary sight to see whichever one becomes president. Because let's keep it real, I don't really think neither one of them got a plan with this COVID-19 thing. None of them do. However it came about, and whoever made it up or whatever, I don't think no one has an actual plan how to get this COVID-19 under control. But if everybody work together and keep doing what they're doing to keep it from spreading, then we probably can get it under control to a sense that it's not as bad as it is beginning of the year, or you know what I'm saying. But just to say, I like your show, keep doing what you're doing, and I never laughed so hard in my life last night at that debate. It was hilarious. Oh my goodness.
Hey Ray, thank you for the call, man. Don't be a stranger.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Have a good one.
most definitely. Appreciate it. Don't be a stranger. I see a lot of people are well-wishing Ask Ashley. Again, she's well-known in these parts in Cincinnati for, her show and her efforts. And I definitely took notice. Looking forward to it. Midday Juice starting next Tuesday and Thursdays at 1 p.m. Presented by Sin Digital Media. We're just getting started, folks. It's so much talent. There's so much talent in this area, in this state, in this country. And if you're already doing a podcast, perhaps we can work together. If you have an idea for a podcast, perhaps we can work together. Hit me up. Hit me with a DM. My connect information is on my website, nathanivey.com. And I will respond. Just putting up some of the comments here. And if you tried to call in this morning and I did not answer, it's because we had somebody on the line already. Okay. Hey, Jeannie, good to see you. Donald Trump controlled the flow of the debate versus Chris Wallace. In every turn, any issue that Joe Biden attempted to address was overshadowed. However, this was to be expected. Trump has more experience in that regarding overshadowing others. I mean, that's just his style. I think that, again, I've put my thoughts out there. You know what I'm saying? I've said it out enough. I think I know, how I feel. If you're just tuning in, it's real simple. I think that people walked out of the debate using the same door that they walked into the debate. So they walked in as an independent, they're still an independent, as an undecided. If they walked in as a Republican, they're still a Republican. Republicans probably loved what they saw last night. If you're a hardcore Donald Trump supporter, what he did last night is why you love him. And if you think I'm lying about it, remember, this is what he did during the Republican primary in 2016. It caught everybody's attention. Like, man, we had never seen people get talked to like this. He's talking these big-time Republican names and reducing them to nothing, emasculating them, calling them names, right? People loved it. That's why it's so hypocritical for Donald Trump to criticize the so-called mainstream press, because he got hundreds of millions of dollars of free ad time, free media space from them, because the big boys in the media was falling over themselves trying to report on the Donald Trump phenomenon, right? He got millions of dollars of free press from MSNBC, CNN, New York Times, all of them. Then when he gets in office and starts slipping on banana peels and his criminal tendencies come up, they start reporting on it, and he wants to turn on it and call them fake news, which opens up the door for yet another, missed opportunity, right? Like, I would have liked for Donald Trump to be challenged on being a law and order president. Like, how are you law and order when more people from your administration have been under criminal indictment than anybody else? How are you law and order, but Obama had no one who was under criminal indictment from his administration directly? How are you law and order when all of these people in your cabinet have been indicted and or convicted? Your right-hand man, your national security advisor, people from your campaign manager, right? All convicted, and in some cases went to jail. But you're law and order. How are you law and order, but you spent the first 2 years vilifying the FBI? That's the Federal Bureau of Investigations. That's federal law enforcement. How are you law and order? I would have liked to have seen Joe Biden and or the moderator clarify and check him on that. But of course, it did not happen, and it is what it is right now. You know, we got to move on. It is what it is. Janice writes, debates should have some substance. If she watched Morning Joe, she would have heard very specific things that Biden presented. I mean, Biden did put some thoughts out, but again, I agree with you. A debate should have substance, obviously. On this level, of course. But from a viewer standpoint, unfortunately, people love that sizzle, and they remember the sizzle over the substance. And so the art of the debate is giving people both. If I'm a Trump supporter, as I said before, I'm still a Trump supporter. He didn't lose my vote. In fact, he did all the things I like. So he's definitely got my vote. If I'm a Biden supporter, he didn't lose my vote. If I'm undecided, then I might just choose to not vote at all. And depending on who you are and where you are, depends on who it helps or hurts the candidate. That's backed up. That was my impression last night. This morning, I woke up and was looking at some of the poll results and some of the survey groups and things like that. And one in particular that was done by Frank Luntz, they concluded the same thing over with his outfit. The same thing they concluded, that undecided voters overwhelmingly, at least with the people that were a part of his focus group, they decided, or they at that particular point were deciding to not vote. They were just so turned off by the whole spectacle that they decided not to vote. Or they're deciding, you know, as it was reported last night. I mean, these things are not zero sum. It's on a range. They're going to have more debates. The next one's going to be town hall. You're going to get more opinions. People might change their opinion, but I'm not surprised to hear and or repeat or see any of that. I ain't surprised at all. Not one bit. 513-873 873-7134. Biden went over healthcare and climate change, and Biden wasn't there to be a petty child like Trump. Herman Cain has family. Why do that? Again, I'll say, is that Danita? I say it again because it needs to be done. Oh, that was Yolanda. Yolanda writes, why do that? You do that because it proves Trump to be either looking over the death of this black man, and that's Herman Cain. Trump gets up there like, oh, well, you know, hey, we've done these forums and it hasn't cost us anything. Nobody's died. Did you forget about Herman Cain? He doesn't matter. So which is it? Either you forgot about him and he doesn't matter, or you're lying to us. That's why you do it. That's why you do it. Again, just another, I would say, missed opportunity. And it would be different if Joe Biden brought it up, but the moderator asked the question and then Trump answered. So that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. I mean, in some situations, you got to go for the jugular, man. Stop pussyfooting around and get it done. And get it done. Elizabeth writes, Trump is, let me see if I can put this up here. Trump is a effing clown. Biden won, she writes. Alicia writes, they were so ghetto, it can only be called trailer park. It's not a matter of being in the middle or on the fence. Biden is still the clear choice, but I already knew beforehand that Donald Trump would overtalk everyone because that's what he does. Did we not watch The Apprentice? Right. All you got to do is go back. The Apprentice, go back to 2016 with Hillary Clinton, go back to the 2016 Republican primary. We already know. And I'm sure that Biden did all of that stuff. I'm sure. I can't imagine he didn't. Latasha writes, let me get this in here. She writes, Latasha writes, both are racist. You are just voting for the lesser evil. I hear you. I hear you, Latasha. What I would say is look at the policy ideas. Look at the policy ideas. Or will do. Yes, absolutely. Will do. responding to a text message. Look at the policy ideas. I think that when you look at the policy ideas, they're offering something different. Look at the two men, right? Look at who they are, what they represent, and their personalities. Joe Biden was not my first choice. I'll say it again. He was not my first choice. If I was going to vote for anybody from the Democrat side, he was not my first choice for a multitude of reasons. But is he the same as Trump? I don't think that's fair to say, Latasha. I think that, in no way am I trying to say you didn't do this, but I think that what we should do is to look at their policies, go to their website, with one of them, look at his record, look at what he represents and what he brought to the table. Look at COVID-19. Do you think that Joe Biden would have acted and responded to COVID-19 in the same way that Donald Trump was? I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I think that Trump's response cost lives and cost us black businesses. I do not think that their response will be the same. You know, Obama's response to the swine flu and the other things that happened during his administration was not the same as Donald Trump. And I think it becomes personality. You know, Donald Trump is a narcissist. We know this. He is completely caught up with himself. I think that we deserve someone with a personality at the very least. There's less about their individual everyday, you know, am I getting headlines? Am I winning? And more about the people on some levels. That's just my humble opinion. I don't have to be right, but of course I don't have to be wrong. Deshauna writes, good morning. Good morning to you. Lenny writes, either you are voting for Trump or you are voting for common sense. Brian writes, that's a part of stuttering, Donnie. LOL, do you stutter? Your thoughts get mixed up and they don't come out. Let me see. I can't see it all. And they don't come out. Hold on. 1 second. That's part of stuttering, Donnie. LOL. Do you stutter? ? Your thoughts get mixed up and they don't come out in order you want. Hence being flustered. Doesn't mean he's not capable. LOL. Glad that's your opinion and not facts. Yeah, I mean, everybody stutters, flutters, whatever you want to call it. They say, these verbal crutches. I do it. Everybody does it. I'm doing it right now. In terms of sharpness, okay, as it relates to Joe Biden, do I think that Joe Biden is super sharp? No, I don't. He's not as sharp and as quick on his feet as other people are. That's just facts, in my opinion. Take it or leave it. Is that in a manifestation of a lack of sharpness in his brain? It could be, it could not be. It could be, it could not be. Even saying that, if I had to choose between these two men, to me, it's not even a choice. And whatever I thought about Trump, COVID-19 really opened a whole new door. Like, oh, this dude really don't care. It really is about him while Americans, black, white, or whoever, are dying. You know what I'm saying? And then you just look at the grand total last 3 years, all the people that have gone to jail in the Trump administration. Trump told us that he knows how to hire the best people. Did he do it? That didn't come up last night. We'll see. Let's see how the next debate rolls. Let's see how it goes before I get super, super hard with it, just to be fair. Who's Biden's manager? Somebody's not doing their job. Manager is supposed to keep him sharp. Well, I mean, if you're a debate prepper, there's only so much you can do. You're not having the debate yourself. You prep the candidate. The candidate goes out there and they execute, just like a coach. The coach don't play the games. You prep the candidate, and then you send the candidate out there, and either they deliver or they don't deliver. I'm sure they went over these kind of things. You know what I'm saying? It's on the individual to deliver in the moment. Let me take a quick pause, and then we'll come back and wrap everything up with some final thoughts. It's the Nathan Ivey Show, live, local, and vocal, powered by Sin Digital Media. We'll be right back.
The Nathan Ivey Show is supported by listeners. Go to www.patreon.com/Nathan Ivey Show and help Nathan keep the show independent.
Bloomberg Black Business Report. I'm Donna Wilson. LeBron James and his business partner Maverick Carter have signed a 4-year deal with NBC Universal to produce film and TV projects about sports and culture. The production company Spring Hill has already started work on a film, Shooting Stars, which is based on the NBA champ's life. Southwest Airlines aims to double the percentage of racial diversity and increase gender diversity in its senior management by 2025, as well as boost diversity on its corporate board. And this week, Newark, New Jersey Mayor Ross Baraka announced the launch of the Newark 40 Acres and a Mule Fund that will invest in the city's Black and Latino business community. The fund's goal is to raise $100 million. So far, it's raised $2 million and has landed AT&T as one of its first corporate partners. That's your Bloomberg Black Business Report. I'm Donna Wilson.
Jill Schiller has been missing in action, and now we know why. Did you know that Jill Schiller, candidate for Hamilton County Treasurer, got away with a dangerous offense? Her friends and connections at Cincinnati City Hall turned their heads when she was racing through a Cincinnati public school zone doing 52 in a 20-mile-an-hour zone. She could have killed a child. As a mother of 3, that's concerning. 25,000 children are injured each year because of speeding in a school zone. 100 children are killed in school zones each year by people like Schiller. Schiller should have served 5 days in jail as the law states, but being privileged kept her out while you, the public, would have gone to jail. Her friends and connections at City Hall only fined her $60, and they quickly destroyed the evidence the next day. We cannot trust Schiller with our school children. Should we trust her to protect and safeguard our tax dollars? Vote for Charlie Winburn for Hamilton County Treasurer. We can trust him to safeguard our tax dollars and our children.
Paid for by friends of Charlie Winburn.
Are you interested in medical coding, but not sure where to start? And scared of wasting time and resources? Let me help you with the right steps to become a certified, marketable medical coder. Learn more at bit.ly/5stepscoder.
You're listening to The Nathan Ivey Show. One man, one microphone, one mission. Now let's get back to the flow.
Hey, good morning, family. I want to wrap the show up with some final thoughts. Give perhaps you the last word. I've got room for one last phone call, and then I got to make a move. My son is in virtual learning, just like many of your children are, and I got to do my part to make sure that he is on point. He is a kindergartner, and believe me, it's kind of like trying to hold a fish in your hand sometimes, because he is fidgeting around and turning his back to the camera, and he's slowly, what's the 3rd week now? He's gotten into his routine. He's a lot better than he was before. But man, these young ones, whoo, they're not used to it. And shout out to all the teachers and their infinite wisdom and patience. I mean, it has been very interesting. Virtual learning is hilarious. It is hilarious. So yesterday they had a system-wide outage. My son was about to take German, right? And we get online, and the German teacher's not there. Well, the kids are there, and the kids are hilarious. You know, some of them are left there on devices because mom and dad is in another room, you know, doing Zoom calls or whatever, working, doing what they got to do. When the kids are left to themselves, it is hilarious. Like my son's teacher's name is Miss Smith, black female. And when she is late or is not there because they have some snafu, the kids are like, Miss Smith, all you hear is like 17 kids. Miss Smith, where are you, Miss Smith? And what they do is they'll get real close. Like, Miss Smith. All you see is lips. Miss Smith. It is the most hilarious thing ever, man. It is hilarious. My son is better behaved because his mom and dad are there. You know, again, we're just privileged to be able to do what we do and to handle our son in that way. But it's quite interesting. I know there's a petition that's been circulated, like petition.org. And parents are urging for CPS to return back to or to stay with virtual learning, which, again, I think is a luxury. There's some classism. There's a class division among Cincinnati parents. not all CPS parents are in the same position. Some of you can keep your kids home and it don't really affect how you work. That's just the nature of your job or the position that you have on your job, or perhaps, you're running an LLC and you're an entrepreneur. You can do it all from home. That is a luxury and a privilege. You got other folks who've got to leave the house to work, or they have to be in a Zoom meeting on a regular basis. They've got to be more, away from their child. So the needs of all parents are going to be different. It really is. Parents need the option to remain in digital learning while their kids remain in their school and they don't lose a spot per se. Parents need that option from CPS. But we'll be here with the Nathan Ivey Show, and I know Donnie B is watching as well with CDM, and we'll keep our eyes on what's going on and let you know every single morning. If you're tuning in for the first time, this show runs live starting at 7:30 a.m. You can find us on Facebook, on Send Digital Media, and please like and share. It means everything. If you like this kind of content, I need your support. Please support it. If you like this kind of content, support it with a share. Consider a one-time donation or becoming a patron. You can go to nathanivey.com, click on support, and just follow the steps and, fill in wherever you feel, that's where you want to be. For as little as $2 per month, $2 a month, you can help build Black independent media in the greater Cincinnati area. So shout out to all my patrons as we're rounding out the month of September. Again, if you haven't been on your Patreon feed, please check it. You can download the app to get access to it as well. It's free. And you can get all of the access and bonuses that I pledge to you, depending on your tier level. All right. I appreciate you in advance. All right. What are we at? 10:06 a.m.? Yes. Good morning to you. Let me jump right back and see what's going on. Does an effective debate require that both candidates are present in a live program? Yeah. If both candidates are not present, you're only getting one side. If you've got more than one candidate, to me, you want all the candidates there and you want it to be live. I think that live interaction is good for two reasons. Number one, when it's live, it just brings another level of pressure and accountability to it. When it's live, then the audience gets a chance in some cases to chime in. And again, when it's live, it just puts people on spot. And that's where you want them to be. Yeah, so no doubt on that, 100%. Let me see. David writes, let me get you in here, David. David writes, early voting in Ohio begins on October 6th, only 6 days away. Thank you for reminding me that. Appreciate it. I'm actually going to get out here and start doing some work for some of these candidates who I think are the right candidate at the right time. I'll probably be posting some images as well. I'll give you a heads up. In terms of the media platform, the Nathan Ivey Show, it's very, very rare when you get an endorsement from me from a candidate. It's very, very rare. I only do it when I think it's absolutely necessary or I see threats to the community and I just have to speak on it. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, as a media platform, I'm strictly down the middle. I work with Democrats, Republicans, as you can hear, independents. It makes no difference. It's just a platform. Let's see. Glenda writes, look at Trump and others. Nat, they ain't never been smart people to be in control over the U.S. Can't say you're wrong about that. CL writes, since one of the candidates has behavioral issues, could the debate be taped with each answering the questions clearly, fully in separate locations, broadcast later? Yeah, you could do that. You could do that and then cut it out. The problem you run into is that depending on how people are perceived, then the candidates and the candidates' campaigns are going to criticize the fact what was cut out. And so it opens the door that the media platform is somehow trying to pick winners and choosers or winners and losers. I think live is better. You get the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's live. You make your decision. We see it all. You can respond in real time. To me, that's just much better. But what do you think? David writes, register, print your sample ballot, research the candidate policies and voting history, and cast your vote. Have a good day. Thank you for that. Thank you. Appreciate it. Renee writes, say it louder. Lenny writes, preach, sister. Let me see. Trying to get you in here. I gotta make a move though. My son is in virtual learning and the wifey is working from home as well. So I gotta make sure that I'm doing my part to make sure that our machine runs the way it's supposed to. Again, marriage is a business. You know what I'm saying? And all the business partners have to do their part. So I'll leave you with that. Thank you for listening. I really appreciate you. Have an excellent rest of your day. Shout out to Ask Ashley. Don't forget, Midday Juice coming to CDM next Tuesday and Thursdays. That show, that live stream podcast will run Tuesdays and Thursdays at 1 p.m. And of course, valet service hosted by Fast Pitch. That'll be on Thursday starting next week at 7 p.m. So a little evening, switch up the variety for you. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Much more to come. I'll reveal more and talk about more when I can. But again, please like and share this particular Facebook page. On Facebook, this is the nexus where you can connect to all of the live streams and podcasts that we are presenting to you, the audience. Thank you so much in advance. Have an excellent rest of your day, family. And remember our motto: winners focus on winning. Losers focus on winners. So stay winning and stay focused, and we'll talk real soon. I'm Nathan Ivey, and I'm out.